Can you hear me? You can hear me. Good. So the question is, can you hear?
So if I'm talking to you, Kendra, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, you can hear me.
Can you hear me? Or is it not coming through?
Again, folks, just a little preliminary test we're going through here. We'll get you your pregame shortly.
And my mic, is it going through too?
You can still. Yeah, I can still hear you.
You have to like sign language.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be louder, and I'm gonna be the one who's gonna. Yeah, see, yeah, exactly. I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you because yeah. Uh,
You gotta have the
there
dramatic
are
pauses.
lulls.
You gotta have the dramatic pauses.
Yeah, there are lulls here.
Gotta build up the moment.
So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting. We'll figure it out though.
Oh God, I'm live. Quick, turn on.
We can hear us, but it is very soft.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Awesome.
No, it's not that.
All right. All right, easily. I mean, we should be fine then.
All right, let's line up for this.
We're gonna start right now. If you guys are all set, we're gonna start right now. All right. Size us up. You got some good looks. Yeah. All right, folks. So we've concluded our test. Hello and welcome to the Franklin Pierce Sodexo Field today as the Ravens get set to take on the St. Anselm Hawks. Your Ravens come in to this one at 3-0, and St. A's comes to this one 0-2, having dropped two contests to two ranked opponents, Adelphi and LIU Post. Very tough opponents so far, and Franklin Pierce, they've been able to capitalize on their first three opponents here. And they actually had their first home game not too recently, in which they dominated. And Brandon Brajarski is my color commentator. I'm Andrew Honig, your play-by-play here today. And we'll get into the specifics, of course, of the past game and the start to the season for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. But, Brandon, just some early thoughts on perhaps, what the Ravens are going to look to do here today against St. A's to put on a good show and really, try to get this huge fourth win that they really need.
Well, definitely the biggest thing for them this year is going to be this game in particular is going to be keeping the momentum. Because last season they got off to a similar hot start, and then they struggled in the later parts of the season.
Yep.
So I think one of the big things they're going to look to do today is to do what they did in the other games, which is dominate the face-off battle.
Absolutely.
If you look at San A's, they only have a 12% win rate on the face-offs, while Franklin Pierce is coming in right around 78%.
Yep.
So I feel like they're going to look to do what they've done all year, which is win every face-off, keep possession of the ball, and look to just dominate their opponents that way.
Absolutely, and that first home game that I mentioned came March 9th against Dominican in a 14-7 win, and face-offs were at a premium. Franklin Pierce just absolutely dominated, thanks to Christian Bastinelli-Colin. I mean, he was just incredible. He's got 49 wins on 58 face-offs this season. If those aren't great numbers, I don't know what is. I mean, they're dominating at about 78% in terms of face-off win percentage. St. A's has struggled in that department. They're 12% this season so far, just in the two games that they have played, averaging about 8.5 goals per game. So, the struggles have been there. But again, against two ranked opponents, you don't really know what you're going to have here for St. A's until you hit the field and the game action really starts today, Brandon.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. It's difficult for them. This is going to be a game. This is a statement game for them because this game might decide how the rest of their season goes. If they continue to play poorly and lose this game, their season might go into a downspin. But if they can come out and get a big win against Franklin Pierce, who has been dominant in their first few games, actually outscoring their opponents 4-1.
And to that point, the downspin that you just mentioned, I'm going to go back to last season, how the Franklin Pierce Ravens were able to start off 4-0, and then promptly went down the tubes 1-8, ending the season at 5-8. And against these very same St. Anselm Hawks, the Franklin Pierce Ravens have not defeated them since 2015 when they went 12-4 and had conference play in the playoffs for the NE10. So it's been a while. It's been 3 years since they defeated this St. Anselm Hawks team. A couple of close contested matches. Last year was a 17-11 loss. But they're going to need to figure out this St. Anselm Hawks team, which I'm sure is going to come in today, physical. It looks like two teams from preliminary warm-ups match up well with each other. I noticed in the game against Dominican a few weeks ago that I think size really ended up being a factor. I think Franklin Pierce was a little bit smaller, and that really helped to their advantage. A couple of the taller guys weren't able to keep up, weren't as fast. Today, I just see a lot more similarities between the Hawks and between the Ravens, so it'll be interesting to see how the physicality comes into play in this matchup and whether or not the Ravens are going to be able to keep St. Anselm from scoring goals as they have in these past few starts for Franklin Pierce. I mean, that last game against American International, 23-6 in favor of the Ravens.
Yeah, it's crazy. Their defense has been very, very good to start off the season. They've done a very, very good job. They've mainly used two different goalkeepers, and the main one they've been using is Justin
Lorenzo, yep.
Yep, and he has a 63% save rate.
Sophomore.
Yeah, he's been doing a very, very good job to start off the season.
Yep.
And in the limited time Brian Skiivi has had, he's done a really good job as well. So, they've got two very capable goaltenders that are going to be able to go in there and make some saves when the defense lets up a good look for the other team.
Yeah, and there was another thing I noticed about that Dominican game a couple weeks ago here at Sodexo. It was interesting how the difference between goaltender body sizes was also noticeable. I mean, Lorenzo's a little bit of a thinner guy. He's able to move around and be a little bit more shifty in net, and kind of contort his body to be able to make that stop. Whereas the Dominican goaltender was a lot thicker and heavier, and you would think that maybe you want that bigger body in between the pipes and defending the net and stopping the goal from being a factor, but I thought he struggled primarily because of the fact that he couldn't move as well as maybe Lorenzo does. So I think, again, St. Anselm is going to roll with some similar body types today, and that's just because how they built their team, obviously. So it'll be interesting. I think these two teams are going to match up well, even though, St. A's only comes into this one with an 0-2 record, and Franklin Pierce comes into this one with a 3-0 record. It's going to be interesting. I mean, Franklin Pierce, this really is a key game. Obviously, this is a team you haven't beaten 4 years now, and you're going to have to do something that turns the tide, and maybe the face-offs, like we talked about, is that big difference.
Yeah, well, I don't think either team is lacking motivation or to go out there and play their hardest. I feel like this is going to be a very physical game, and each team's going to be going really hard.
Yep.
If you're St. Anselm, you got off to a bad start, you need to turn it around before your season goes down the tubes. If you're Franklin Pierce, you haven't won in 3 years against this team.
Yep.
So that's all the motivation you need right there. You want to go out and beat them, and so you can say, this is the year we beat them and we turn the tables.
Yep.
So I feel like each team is going to be coming out playing very, very hard, trying to play their brand of lacrosse to win.
Absolutely, and I think a couple of players that we should highlight early on here are seniors for Franklin Pierce, Jake Kastorf and Matt Brewster, midfielder and attacker respectively. Kastorf has 17 points so far this season, and Brewster has 11. So as far as the Franklin Pierce Ravens go, those are your two top guys, which are helping you average 17.33 goals per game this season, and a total of 55 shots per game, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. I mean, those are high marks in terms of any 10 play this season. I believe they are ranked third in goals per game right now. Shots per game is 12th, so there's teams are always shooting a bunch, especially when you're trying to come back. But third in goals per game so far, and the face-off percentage, as we talked about, that's 78.9. First, that is best in the NE10, folks.
And that's so important for the game, because if they get possession and they can keep possession and they contribute their goal opportunities, as you said, third in goal scored, 12th in attempts, that means that they don't shoot the ball as much, but when they do, it typically goes in. So I feel like that's going to be if they win this game, that's how they're going to do it, just playing the same way they have all year, winning the majority of faceoffs and converting on their opportunities.
Absolutely, and Lorenzo, as we mentioned, the goalkeeper, he has helped the Ravens establish this second in the NE10 in terms of save percentage so far this team. So they're second best, and their defense is actually first, with goals against being just 13 and goals against average being 4.35. Both are best marks in the NE10 right now.
Definitely. They've been doing a great job defensively this season, and he's done a great job of when the defense lets up a shot, he's been able to save it. And I just feel like, the goalie's key, because, he's the guy back there that anchors the defense, that is your fail-safe if something goes wrong, and if you miss him, if you
and undoubtedly, you're going to see a lot of shots in a game of lacrosse. I mean, that's
definitely.
just a straight fact. So the fact that Lorenzo has been able to key this defense for the Ravens and really turn away primarily a lot of these shots and have that 62 above save percentage has been impressive. And, as I mentioned, second in the NE10, that's really good for the Ravens so far, and that's what's led them to this hot 3-0 start. And as you mentioned, you just can't let that go, because last season, that 1-8 falling off after that 4-0, you want to be able to build your squad up, especially in Rick Senator's 12th campaign now. He's in his 12th year. So, we're going to be looking at the Ravens to try and put something together here. And, there are seniors, obviously, on this team who are going to look forward to it. Luke Tracy being one of them. He's primarily a great player out there on the field, really competing his heart off all the time. So, this team needs to look for something to be able to continue this established run that they have. And the momentum, I think, that you mentioned is absolutely key in this.
Exactly, definitely. Momentum is very important, especially to start a season. You want to get off to a hard start because confidence is key. And looking at Franklin Pierce, it's mostly younger guys. They don't have a lot of veteran leadership.
Yep.
And as a younger guy, that's what you need is confidence. Once you start getting some confidence, you're going to be playing your best.
Absolutely. No, yeah, there's no question about that. And so far this season, I think I have seen the Ravens play with a lot of confidence, especially in that first home game against Dominican. I was really impressed by the way the guys were flying out there. I thought they were really getting after it. So, just a great job by the Ravens to start off in that first home game. And they couldn't have really started off any better, as I mentioned. I mean, that defense has just been, incredible. The offense, they're out there putting together their best effort, the third in goals for so far this season. But we'll talk about St. A's briefly and about Patrick Sweeney, a senior midfielder. He leads the team with just 8 points, obviously, which is not as close as Kastorf's is for the Ravens with 17. But, he's been out there providing that leadership that we just talked about for his St. Anselm Hawks. And though the St. Anselm Hawks really haven't been able to put anything together, they lost to those two ranked opponents, which I know you were talking about pregame.
Yeah, it's tough, because, obviously you don't like to lose, but they did lose against two of the best teams in the NE10.
Yeah.
Well, one of the best teams.
You don't want to use it as an excuse, but you could say,
exactly.
hey, that's a pretty legit way to go down, honestly.
Exactly. They went down fighting against two very good teams. And, I think, looking at Patrick Sweeney, one of the things I like about him is his goals and assists is evenly distributed.
Yep.
He doesn't just look to score. He looks to set his teammates up to score, which is very important for a veteran leader like that.
Absolutely.
Because, once again, you want to get these younger guys some confidence, and passing them the ball so they can score is a good way to do that.
Yeah, and we are just 2.5 minutes out from game time, folks. And I just want to mention again how the face-offs for St. A's abysmal this season. They have won 7 face-offs in 55 face-off attempts. Just a 12% margin, folks. That is terrible. And again, you may say, it goes back to the whole ranked opponents deal, but at the same time, when you only have 7 face-off wins in 55 face-offs, I mean, that's just not great. And the St. Anselm Hawks are going to have to look to do something differently today if you want to be able to beat Franklin Pierce. And then, their primary goalie, Nick Richard, the senior, he started in 2 games, both of their games so far this season, and he has allowed 31 goals with just 19 saves. His save percentage is 38%. So he's going to have to look to have a bounce-back effort, and it could be surprising, or maybe not so surprising, to not see him start in goal today.
Well, the other guy, his backup, hasn't played that much.
No.
But
got a little bit of action, but
he got a little bit of action.
Not a lot.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they decide to roll with him, even despite his struggles, or if they decide to give the other guy a chance. It's still early in the season, so this is the time you really want to, see who's going to be best for you in goal.
Right.
It's better to do it now than to do it late in the season
Yep.
when you're trying to aim for a postseason run. So
Absolutely. And, that goals against, as I mentioned, second in the NE10. 32 goals against. Saves, just 21. That's 12th in the NE10. And then their clears, they are the best in the NE10 at getting clears. They have 33 on 41 in terms of clears. So, St. Anselm's going to have to look to clear the ball and try and slow this thing down and really get in good position to take on Justin Lorenzo and really get the Ravens flustered here today. And we're going to have to see if Lawrence Bastianelli Conlon can win more of those face-offs and help the Ravens improve upon that third best face-off percentage in the NE10 this season. So we're getting ready here, and they're going to roll through the national anthem and the starting lineups. Join us here. All right. So we're getting set for game action now as the Ravens and the Hawks both take the field. And it looks like Justin Lorenzo will start in goal for the Franklin Pierce Ravens, as to be expected.
And sure enough, there's Lawrence Bastiani Colin. Not Colin. Lawrence
Conlon.
Bastiani Conlin. He walks right up to the face-off spot. He knows exactly where he's needed.
I'm going to be able to remember that one, Brandon, simply because there's a fictional movie character named Pretty Ricky Conlon. So that's gonna stick in my mind now that we have Bastianelli Conlon on the field for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. And it'll be interesting as number 3, Thomas, I believe that's number 3, Thomas Devaney is in goal for.
Yep.
Yeah, for saying no, that's number 13. Excuse me. Nick Richard.
Yep, so he is going to get the start today.
Nick Richard will get the start. So it'll be interesting to see if he can bounce back for his team after a couple rough outings. We're going to get this one started. And the Ravens seemingly won that face-off.
Yep. They got it.
Yep, that was Bastianelli Conlon. Once again for the Franklin Pierce Ravens, setting him up.
And sure enough, he runs right off the pitch after. He's on there for face-offs, and then he takes a break on the sideline.
Absolutely. I mean, if his specialty is face-offs, just put him out there, get him off the field, and get some guys who can score.
Exactly.
As the Ravens look to set up in position, now Jake Kastorf. He'll send it over to Luke Tracy. And there's Tracy behind that. Back over to number 3, Matt Brewster, and then over to Kastorf. Kastorf now looking for a lane. Gets shoved. Oh, he's facing a lot of heat back there.
Definitely. They've done a good job so far.
Finds a lane, but dropped by number 32, Josh Dorr. And now St. Anselm
gets the ball.
looking to bring it out. Tracy providing pressure.
Good job on their first defensive possession there to get the ball back.
Tracy providing pressure on Mateo Olsen. Now watch out here.
Ooh, nice spin move. Gets inside. And wow, a quick
Yeah.
for St. Anselm.
There's the first goal put in by senior Patrick Sweeney.
There you go.
Yep, the man we highlighted for St. A's at the beginning of this one.
Well, now he has to get an assist.
Getting in a beautiful spin move and then just able to put it in right under Justin Lorenzo.
Now he has to get an assist, keep that average even. 5 goals, 4 assists so far in the season for him. And that's exactly what St. Anselm has to do this game.
Yeah, good start.
They're not going to win the faceoffs, but if they can get the ball defensively, run right up the field and get a score, that's what they're going to need to do.
You would think they're not going to win the faceoffs.
I would think. I'm assuming based on previous stats.
Oh, right. I mean, we're only 2 minutes in, not even 2 minutes into this game.
And wow, they did win one.
Yeah, they got, see, right there.
All right, man.
That's the broadcaster's curse. And now number 14 for the Hawks, Will Palmer will pick it up. He got it over to Patrick Sweeney. And Sweeney will send it back over to number 33, Anthony Buscioni. Buscioni running with it. Tried to look for a lane, but now he'll just look to pass it out. He'll get it into a fresh body, number 20, Xavier Quinn. Quinn with some shuffle right there. Buscioni.
Good save.
Tried to get it in, but turned away by Lorenzo, and it looked like also number 2, Robert Colburn was around the net there for additional support.
Good move there to get by him.
Yeah, look at this running by number 11, Christopher Brault.
He's just going to do it all himself.
Yeah.
Look at him go. Falls down temporarily, though, and he loses it out of
Yeah.
bounds.
And he only had 2 more seconds to be able to cross midfield before that 20-second infraction would have given possession back to the St. A's Hawks. So a nice job there. Good individual effort. And that will get the Ravens set up in the offensive zone. Now Brewster behind the net with Tracy. He'll get it over to number 32, Josh Dorr. And now Dominique St. Laurent.
Fires it in. Oh, what
And
a
there
shot.
it is.
What a shot.
Dominique St. Laurent with a beautiful shot from the right.
And that's his 5th goal of the season.
Yeah, able to squeeze right past Nick Richard. And that's the first goal for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. And we're tied at 1 here.
And that was a great shot because he didn't have a great angle on that one.
No, it didn't look like he had a great angle, but he was able to squeak it by. It looked like on the left-hand side of Richard in the net. Great shot by St. Laurent.
Amazing shot.
Yeah, the graduate student, midfielder. And as you mentioned, that is his 5th goal this season. So 9 points on the season now.
Up and a quick win for Franklin Pierce, and they get the ball right back. And
Oh, physical. Physical right there.
that's how you're going to have to play.
Yeah, St. A's driving them back.
They're going to have to get the ball up quickly. They got 10
That was a
seconds
great attack by Alan Jarabek of the St. A's Hawks, number 44, to start that one off after the faceoff. Pushed Franklin Pierce right back. But now Pierce is set up in the offensive zone once again. Number 32, Josh Dorr, looking to make something happen. He'll send it over to Kastorf. Jake Kastorf will get it over to Brewster. Brewster back to Kastorf. And he'll get it back over to Josh Dorr. Send it over to number 12, Mike Alibrandi. Alibrandi running with it. Looking to make something happen. He'll fire a shot.
Nice save.
Nice shot. Good save
Not only to
by
save it,
Richard.
Not only did he save that one, he corralled it too, which meant that it wouldn't bounce back to Franklin Pierce, which is good.
Yeah. I loved the shot, though. Loved the
was-
shot by Alibrandi.
That was a good take. Definitely.
Now number 9 for the St. A's Hawks running with it. Gets across midfield. Number 9, Ryan Richards. He'll do it himself. Looks for a pass. And now he'll get it behind the net. I believe that's number 19, Jack Wells. He'll send it back to number 4, Curtis Vacon. Could be Vachon, but I'll say Vacon without any correction.
Yeah, you just got to roll with it.
Yeah. Don't have the pronunciation, so.
Once you say it once, you just got to keep saying it that way.
Yeah, and we apologize, of course, for any mispronounced names, folks, but we do the best we can with what we're given.
And an errant pass there, and Franklin Pierce is going to get the ball back.
Here in this first quarter of play, obviously tied 1-1. I like the physicality so far between these two teams. St. A's coming out.
I'd say St. Anselm has been
But
more
good
physical so
response,
far.
good response by St. Laurent, though, on a great shot. Got it past Richard. Now Lorenzo. Lorenzo came out too far.
Yep. He's not allowed to go that far out.
Yeah, he
so.
came out too far from the net. And Franklin Pierce will lose possession as St. A's looks to make something happen with it as Patrick Sweeney gets it over to number 20, Xavier Quinn.
He'll take it down now. Looking for
There's
an open
number
shot.
20, Quinn. He'll get it over to.
Oh, he has a nice. Oh, he had a look from right there, but he's going to take it middle.
Good job by Lorenzo to stop that shot by Buscioni.
Beautiful save.
Yep, Buscioni fired one in there, number 33 for St. A's, but great turn away by Lorenzo. It's amazing to me how, in this game of lacrosse, some of these guys are able to stop a ball flying at speeds faster than I could imagine.
Yeah.
A small ball, I might add.
And I mean, he's been one of the best this season out of
Yeah, the
anybody in
reaction
this
time,
division.
it's equal to that of hockey when you're stopping a puck that size.
I'd say it's almost harder because you don't have the big pads,
Yeah. Less protection. Never know where the angle of that ball is going to take it, especially if you bounce it off the ground.
Definitely.
Now number 9, Stephen L. has come in for the Ravens. He'll fire it over to Brewster behind the net. And back to Kastorf. Kastorf with the 17 points for the Ravens this season, the leader on the team. Looks to make something happen. Number 45 of St. A's, Joseph Hardigan, is on him. Kastorf had it, lost it, and Hardigan will take it. Hardigan, excuse me.
And Franklin Pierce has been doing that a lot so far as they've been working it
Oh,
behind
look at the
net.
speed by Luke Tracy trying to make that one up. Luke Tracy turned on the Jets. Unfortunately, just couldn't get there.
Definitely, but that's the kind
Tried
of
to-
hustle you need to see.
Tried to come from behind and surprise number 25, Thomas Mapstone. And now you're looking at Quinn once again with the ball. We'll send it over to number 23, Sean Tomaszewski. That's a mouthful. Oh, and back to number 33, Anthony Buscioni. Buscioni got it over back to Quinn. Quinn now fires a shot, sent up into the air by Lorenzo. High into the air. Patrick Sweeney tried to track it down for the St. A's Hawks, but the ball goes out of play. And now Franklin Pierce will get possession. Long pass over the middle. Sent on to number 12, Mike Alabrandy. He got that one. Kastorf now
They're looking to make
in the corner.
Yeah, they're going to take their time a little bit here.
Yep, Alabrandy has Dominic St. Laurent, but instead fires it over to Kastorf. Yep, then he'll go over to St. Laurent, who's wide open in the left.
Nice move there to get around
Ooh,
him.
shifty little move, yeah. And Alabrandy with a beautiful shot. Great decision by number 39, Dominic St. Laurent, to get that one over to Alabrandy, who had a lane and then just fired it in past Richard.
Well,
Great job by Dominic St. Laurent so far with a goal and an assist in this one.
Already keeping his percentage even.
Yeah.
Started the game with 4 goals, 4 assists. Now he's at 5 goals, 5
So
assists.
2-1, Franklin Pierce. 7 minutes and 2 seconds left to play in this first quarter of action.
And we're on here for another face-off. Franklin Pierce won 2. St. Anselm took 1 themselves.
I should say, for spring break, decent crowd today.
Yeah, definitely.
Decent crowd.
Oh, and St. Anselm gets another one.
And our PA announcer's fired up himself, I must say. I've never heard such enthusiasm in a PA announcer here at Franklin Pierce in my time as a broadcaster.
You got to get the crowd excited. You got to get them into it.
Absolutely.
Give some home field advantage.
All right, so number 23 now, Sean Tomaszewski, will set the offense. He'll get it over to Sweeney, and then Sweeney over to Griffin Shoemaker. Love that name, Griffin Shoemaker.
That is a good name.
Oh, nifty move there by number 9, Ryan Richards.
Saves it back.
He got it back to Patrick Sweeney. Sweeney now looking to fire one in.
Yeah,
Doesn't have a lane, though. Good spin move by number 19. Patrick Sweeney wide open, and he gets it in.
Yeah, but one of the things about Patrick
No, wait a minute.
Ooh.
Yep, that was a goal. Looks like it might have bounced out on the side. No, it is no goal.
It was
It's
a
a
no
no
goal.
goal.
They
Yeah,
said-
so it hit the side of the net. It looked like to me it hit the side of the net. I thought at first
Yeah.
they counted it, and they did on the scoreboard, but the refs waved it off.
Still a good attempt from Patrick Sweeney, though. Tried to sneak it in that bottom
Yeah,
left
good
corner.
attempt. Just a little, it's like soccer, little off.
Little off.
A little
That's
bit
all it
more, and
takes.
you would have had it, but. Now, number 27 for Franklin Pierce, Callan LeMay. He'll send it over back to Stephen L. Stephen L. now
And
with Jake Kastorf. What a beautiful pass, and then a nice move by Kastorf, and then just toss it in there over Richard.
And that's what they've been doing offensively. That's their mindset, is they get the ball behind the net, or they have their players come up from behind the net and wrap around and quickly shoot it.
Oh, of course, that's any good strategy in lacrosse, but, I mean, that was just a great move by Kastorf, and as quickly as it looked like St. Anselm had tied this one up, the Ravens go back down and score, making it a 3-1 game.
Exactly, that's huge.
Gotta love the intensity.
It's going to be very difficult for St. Anselm to come back unless they can consistently win these faceoffs. They've actually split with Franklin Pierce so far. They've gotten 2, Franklin Pierce has gotten 2.
Potentially. I mean, I don't think the Ravens have nowhere near pulled away enough for this one to be out of contention for St. A's.
Oh, no,
but
definitely. I just think it'd be a lot easier for St. Anselm to protect the lead. Than to come back from
absolutely.
behind.
Absolutely. And now number 1, Luke Newman, very tall guy, 6'4". He's out there. He'll come off now, though.
He'll come off. They'll go with a smaller.
And Kastorf will now get it back to Josh Dorr. Josh Dorr will send it over to number 12, Mike Alabrandy, and then Alabrandy sends it over to St. Laurent. St. Laurent now gets it to Luke Tracy behind the net. Luke Tracy trying to make something happen, but he'll just send it over to Matt Brewster on the left side. Now Brewster. Cheered on by his teammates, trying to make something happen, getting nifty. No lane, passes it on,
Good cut here.
and there's Alabrandy trying to make something happen, but again, no lane. Kastorf, quick move, nothing there.
So far, an excellent job by the defense, keeping themselves in between.
Yeah, number 45, Joseph Hardigan, playing very close on Kastorf.
Mirroring everything he does.
Oh, a screen set up there by Brewster.
Got around it pretty easily, though.
He did. Nice job by Hardigan to adjust.
Oh, what a shot.
And then Matt Brewster with an incredible fall-down goal. I believe under the legs of Richard there.
Diving shot, too.
What a great job. A dive, hitting the turf. But Matt Brewster getting the point for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. It's 4-1, and I believe a quick timeout now
and if you're
by head coach Michael Shimana.
Now, if you're St. Anselm, that's backbreaking. You just played 70 seconds of lockdown defense.
Absolutely.
And he gets by barely for 1 second and manages to score a goal.
Absolutely. And just another great individual effort there by Matt Brewster at the end of that one to get that goal over Richard. And Richard is struggling early in this one, having allowed 4 goals already.
Yeah, definitely a tough one for him so far. We'll see if the St. A's is going to keep him in net or if they might make a substitution here.
I would expect they'll keep him in net at least until after half,
fair enough,
depending on what happens.
But another thing, though, is Justin Lorenzo for Franklin Pierce. He has been doing an excellent job so far. This game could easily be 4-3
Yeah,
or
in
4-4.
the couple of shots that he has faced, he has looked great, sending a couple of them skyward so far in this one. Shots on goal favor Franklin Pierce, 6 for the Ravens and just 3 for St. A's. So, 2 saves so far for Lorenzo. But, again, in those 2 saves, as I mentioned, sent them skyward and got Franklin Pierce possession back. St. Anselm doing its thing with the clears. They are 3 of 3 so far. Franklin Pierce just 4 of 5. 2 turnovers for Franklin Pierce in this one.
Definitely. It's been a pretty even game. The score doesn't really represent. It's been more even so far. Franklin Pierce has just capitalized better on their opportunities.
Absolutely, and some great individual efforts there.
Definitely.
By Dominique St. Laurent, Brewster, and Kastorf.
Definitely. They've been key so far.
And now Lawrence Bastianelli Conlon, once again, ready to take on a face-off against Alan Jarabek of the St. A's Hawks. Spring is in full effect as we have hit our second day in the new season. Not quite as warm as we'd like it to be, but nonetheless, the Ravens and the Hawks are out here battling it out on Sodexo Field, and I believe...
Had it for a second.
Yeah, I believe the faceoff was won by Bastianelli Conlon at the beginning of it, but then Alan Jarabek took it away, and now St. A's on the attack. Here's number 2, Matteo Olsen. Olsen looking for somebody to pass to. He'll get it over to Sweeney, and then back to Xavier Quinn. And then as quickly as he was out there, Matteo Olsen looks to substitute. Number 23, Sean Tomaszewski, tried to find a lane. He'll just pass it to Patrick Sweeney. And then Quinn on a pass over from Bouchoni.
Nice move there to get by, but
Bouchoni will get it back, and then he'll send it over to Tomaszewski. Tomaszewski back to Bouchoni. Bouchoni trying. Can't find anything.
They have no open space to shoot right now.
No open space. Franklin Pierce doing a great job of that swarming defense around Lorenzo. And now, great job right there by number 2, Robert Colburn.
To save it back in there.
Yeah, he delayed a pass to Matt Ward in front of the net, who was able to turn it away, but St. A is still with possession.
Good job by Franklin Pierce getting right back into the defense.
As Tomaszewski got it over to Sweeney. Lost it, but got it back was Tomaszewski. He'll send it back to Xavier Quinn, who sends it right back over to Bouchoni. And Bouchoni, quick dime stop, had 2 Franklin Pierce Ravens run into each other. Nice job by Quinn there. And quite the shot there by Tomaszewski.
Tried to roll that one.
Yeah, tried to roll it in under Lorenzo, but that went
have
wide to the left.
They have zero openings right now. Franklin Pierce has done a great job shielding the net, making it so that there's no way to shoot the ball.
Oh, yeah, they're playing some great defense right now. They'll say that the ball went off the Franklin Pierce Ravens. So St. A's will retain possession. And here's Bouchoni. Good poke check there by Luke Newman.
Nowhere to go.
Oh,
what a shot.
There's a goal by Xavier Quinn.
That was a good shot right there.
Yeah, Xavier Quinn, the senior midfielder, standing 6 foot tall, 195 pounds, fired that one in. And Lorenzo, I didn't even see him in front of the net at that point.
Yeah, that was a difficult shot. I don't even think he was expecting it.
I don't think so either. It was sent out from afar by Quinn. So a nice shot that'll get the Hawks two points in this one, their second goal, down 4-2. Here's Bastianelli Conlon versus Jarabek once again. And tough scrap, but it looks like Conlon comes out.
Ooh, loses it though.
Lost it.
And they've got a chance now.
Now there's Jarabek. He'll get it over to number 19. There's a penalty on that one. Pretty blatant penalty, it looks like.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Number 12, Matt Ward, was taken down right in front of the net, basically. So a costly lost possession there for the Ravens is initially Bastianelli Conlon won it, but then a pass back to, I believe, Chris Sanderson.
And now they're going to be in a difficult position as they've only got 5 people that can help defend the goal now. So it's going to be evenly matched. They're going to all have to one-on-one.
Of course. The 5 people obviously being your midfielders and your defensemen. The attackers all have to stay on the opposite side of the field.
Ooh, just off the post there. If you're St. Anselm, you got to capitalize on this.
Absolutely. I mean, to be able to pull within a goal after being down 3, that would be a huge turnaround for the St. A's Hawks, especially when you would hate to lose this first quarter and be down 3 goals. A chance to put it within 1, and they do.
What a shot there.
And that's a shot by Sean Tomaszewski. Number 23 sent that one in, and then nice little wave to the crowd after that.
Definitely. I've been seeing some celebrations from St. Anselm when they've scored. They've been getting very excited.
Tomaszewski with another nice shot. Now Lorenzo has led up 3 in this one. So 4-3, advantage Franklin Pierce, but just narrowly now. Now Bastianelli Conlon will look to get a huge face-off win for the Ravens, try and establish that momentum that they had prior to these 2 goals being scored by the Hawks. And he will, but again, he lost it.
You know, and that's what St. Anselm's been doing. They haven't been winning the actual face-off, but they've been hustling to get the ball.
Right.
Still loose.
Perhaps because they know Bastianelli Conlon is very, very potent in the middle of the field and winning those face-offs. But on those second chance opportunities when he's looking for a pass, he just hasn't found anybody. St. A's doing a nice job of disrupting the pass. Number 8 now, Griffin Shoemaker, looking to make something happen. And Shoemaker still looking for anybody. He'll get it over to number 9 who just checked in, Ryan Richards. Richards, decent little move there. Quick substitution by St. A's. As number 4, Curtis Vachin, has come in. And Vachin will receive the pass from Patrick Sweeney, the senior. Vachin now. Big body there.
Yeah, definitely has a height advantage. He can see over everybody.
Good check initially by number 18, Connor Chapdelaine for the Ravens, but St. A's still able to retain possession on this one. As Griffin Shoemaker again looks to set something up, and he'll just get it back to Curtis Vachon, who lost the pass.
Well, they're going to have to look to do something quick here. They have 10 seconds now.
Yeah, just 10 seconds left on the shot clock. He'll send it in and get it.
That was crazy, and that's the height advantage right there. He looked over, saw where he needed to go.
He
got
did.
right over there and fired a perfect
and just a
shot.
Great shot in the corner, the right corner, right above the left arm of Lorenzo.
Nothing you could do about that one.
Yeah, Justin Lorenzo just didn't react fast enough on that one.
I'd say St. Anselm, they've scored some difficult goals. They're not taking them as close as they could be. They're taking some deep shots, but they've been going in.
And as quickly as it was 4-1, it's about to be a tie heading into the second quarter.
Unless someone gets a goal in 4.5 seconds.
I highly doubt that. I've seen crazier things happen, though. Good Lord. Look at that battle in the middle.
And I guess you were right. They're not going to score.
Yeah, no, that battle in the middle, though.
Yeah, they were
between
going.
Bastianelli Conlon and Alan Jerebeck highlights what has been a very fun first quarter of play for these Franklin Pierce Ravens and St. Anselm Hawks. After initially taking a 4-1 lead, the Ravens have allowed 3 straight goals. Justin Lorenzo has struggled a little bit, and the Hawks have tied this one. It's 4-4. Hawks looking for their first win of the season. Franklin Pierce looking for their first win against the Hawks in 4 years.
4 years.
What'd you notice there in that first quarter?
Well, one of the things I noticed was what St. Anselm is doing on the faceoffs. Is Lawrence, wrong sheet.
Jerebeck?
Lawrence Bastianelli Conlon. He has been winning the faceoffs. He
Yeah,
gets
Conlon.
the ball. He gets the ball, and he
Conlon.
tries to pass it to a teammate. But St. Anselm has been swarming whoever gets the ball,
Yep.
forcing them to turn it over, and sometimes they beat him to the ball. So I feel like this is the way they're going to have to play the rest of the season. They know they're not going to win the majority of faceoffs, but if they can get the ball right after the faceoff and get it back, that's what they've been doing all game.
Right. I mean, I would argue that, game plan depends on your opponent.
Definitely.
And in this case, St. A's is facing a team who is very, very good at winning faceoffs in Franklin Pierce. So I think maybe the strategy by Coach Michael Sciamana, pronouncing that correctly. This is his 4th season out of UMass Amherst. And I think the strategy was definitely to, if you can't initially win those faceoffs, be able to disrupt the passes after that, after Bastianelli Conlon has a chance to corral the ball and just provide that pressure and get a loose ball, and then St. A's scoops it up and goes downfield like they have so far in this one. So both teams are switching sides now, and we're going to have to see if Franklin Pierce can respond to this recent onslaught by the Hawks.
Well, they've dominated the possession. They dominated the possession to end that first quarter. They did a fantastic job. They managed. They kept getting the balls to the face-off, and they would hold on to it, and they got a lot of good looks. And if they can keep doing that, it's going to be very difficult for Franklin Pierce.
Shots on goal now, 6 for both teams, but total shots, 10 by St. A's and 7 by Franklin Pierce. So a nice job by St. A's adjusting in this one. Bastianelli Conlon now. Oh, another lost pass, but thankfully that time the Ravens were able to corral it as number 10, Chris Sanderson, now gets it down to Luke Tracy.
They're going to make 2 quick substitutions to get 2 more offensive players on the field.
And now the offense cannot go quiet for these Ravens. They need to start picking it up again, as that combination of Tracy and Kastorf and Brewster needs to get hot again.
Definitely. Well, they've done a good job so far.
Along with St. Laurent, who had a couple nice plays at the beginning of this one, a goal and an assist. Number 12 also, Mike Alibrandi with a nice goal. Number 32, Josh Dorr, got it over to him, and now there's St. Laurent.
They've been doing a great job using this.
Luke Tracy has looked like he might have had a lane, but it's passed back to Kastorf now. Trying to find someone to pass to. Nobody open. Still standing just behind the net waiting.
And he'll take it
Now
himself.
Kastorf makes a move.
Flag
Penalty
down.
flag is thrown.
And both referees saw that one.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what Franklin Pierce has been doing all game, is they're looking to get those mismatches behind the net. They've been getting a lot of one-on-ones with bigger, slower defenders on the smaller, faster players, and so far they've been winning those matchups and getting the goals. And it looks like the penalty was on St. Anselm, so this is a big chance for Franklin Pierce to take back that lead.
Indeed it was. It looks like it was on 34, Christopher Tully. He'll sit down momentarily. And now Brewster gets it over to Alibrandi. Kastorf back to St. Laurent. A lot of passing here by the Ravens.
Well, that's what you got to do when the other team has a man disadvantage. You got to get them out of position so you can get an open look. Just like that.
There's a
Good
look.
save.
Oh, what an effort by number 9, Stephen L., to get that ball after the deflection by Richard. Nick Richard doing a nice job turning away that shot. Now quickly down the field are the St. A's Hawks. And here we go. Xavier Quinn started off the scoring earlier for the Hawks. Luke Newman is checked in for the Ravens. And then number 33, Anthony Buscioni. Ooh, Justin Lorenzo able to turn that one away just barely.
Good save there to keep this game tied.
Great save. And now Kyle Fortier has checked in, number 36 for these Ravens. And there's Brewster. He'll find Kastorf behind the net. He'll find Tracy along the right side. And Tracy will get it back over to number 9, Stephen L. L will look for number 14, Gavin Power. And then Power will just send it right back to St. Laurent. St. Laurent with a nice little shifty move. He'll run down, send it over to Tracy deep behind the net. Good pass to Kastorf.
Ooh, off the side of the net, though.
Kastorf wanted that one. Looked like he had sent in a good shot, but it was off the side of the net. So Kastorf with a close call there. Couldn't get that one to go, though.
Well, Dominic St. Laurent, he's been doing an excellent job so far.
He has. He's
with
been
those
one of
runs.
those. He's been one of those fast guys, moving the ball down the field. Made a couple of nice plays, as we've already seen in this one. But the St. A's Hawks, nonetheless, tying this one up, and now a chance to take the lead for the first time since scoring that first goal of the game. Patrick Sweeney, he will do it.
And he will do it.
Yes, Patrick Sweeney sent that one in
His 6th goal of the season.
under Lorenzo.
And that's a lead for St. Anselm. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, that's their first lead since having the first score in this contest to open things up, a 1-0 lead initially, before franklinpierce scored 4 straight goals, and now 4 straight for the St. A's
They
Hawks.
responded.
So a great job by the Hawks to respond, and this team obviously has plagued the Ravens, have not beaten them since that 12-4 campaign back in 2015.
Yeah, and they've been doing a great job. They've been playing with a lot of heart tonight, St. Anselm. They've been playing really well. And, I mean, I definitely think that's part of their motivation is, you know, they started off the season rough, but they want to show that they can play. And so far tonight, they've been doing a very good job.
And already potentially, I mean, at 0-2, you could say it's a possible must-win for them. I mean, you know, you can rip off wins easy, especially if you're a good program. But
Well, unless you take one from one of those ranked
to,
teams.
to fall to 0-3, especially against a conference opponent.
Exactly. Almost a rival, too, because, I mean, we're only an hour away from them.
Right. Now, Bastianelli Conlon was seen working on his face-offs just a second ago. He's getting pretty frustrated with how things have looked in those initial face-off wins. Ooh, nice move there. Send over to Bouchoni. Bouchoni will get it back to Quinn. And Quinn looks for a lane, can't find it. And there's Patrick Sweeney.
Oh, man. And that was all set up by Quinn.
Yeah.
All set up by Quinn because he got by his man. Someone had to rotate to help him. And that left Patrick Sweeney wide open on the far post.
Yeah, and now Patrick Sweeney just dominating this one. I believe that's 3 goals in
3
this.
goals for him. That puts
Yeah,
him
3
at-
goals in this contest. 6-4 now, St. A's Hawks. As Patrick Sweeney, the senior, is showing why he is the leader of this St. Hawks team. Obviously, not just in standing, but in categories in terms of points and goals now as well. So Patrick Sweeney, a very big body down there.
Definitely.
Sweeney is about 6'5", 215. The attacker is putting on a show so far here today.
And another face-off goes to St. Anselm. It's been a struggle today.
Yeah, Bastianelli Conlon.
Not his usual self today.
No, he's lost a few of these face-offs, and that has been quite startling given the amount that he's won in the past, obviously coming into this one with 49 wins on 58 face-offs. And now there is Tomaszewski, who had a goal earlier. Bouchoni tried to send one in, turned away by Lorenzo, and now franklinpierce.
Trying to get the counterattack going.
Yeah, franklinpierce needs to get this counterattack going, and they definitely need to score here, as the St. A's Hawks have put in 5 straight goals. No response yet by franklinpierce. Now St. Laurent looking for a pass. He'll get it over to number 32, Josh Dorr,
Gets
who
in front.
checked into this one along with Mike Alabani.
Gets
Brandy, excuse me, Alabrandy.
You want to get some fresh legs out there, you know. You want to, because this defense is going to be tired, so you want to move it around. You want to try to tire them out and find an open shot here, because, you know, right now St. Anselm's on a 5-0 run, so you got to get a goal to break that momentum.
Absolutely. The momentum is definitely swung in favor of the Hawks as the Ravens now looking for something. There's St. Laurent over to Mike Alabrandy. Alberni looking for anything. He'll just send it over to Kastorf. Luke Tracy right in front.
There it is.
What a beautiful, beautiful setup there by the Ravens. Jake Kastorf took all the attention away from Luke Tracy, who just found himself sitting in front of the net, received the pass, and then instantly right past Nick Richard.
And that's one of the easiest goals he's going to see all season. So
Absolutely.
good for him to capitalize on that.
Great response by the Ravens there, making it a 6-5 1-point contest.
It's been a close one so far. It's been a dogfight. They've been going back and forth so far all
They
game.
have. There's been some momentum swings so far in this one. And we are just about halfway through this second quarter.
Scored by number 29, Luke Tracy. Assist number 13, Jake Castor. Time of the goal, 5:46. That's Tracy from Castor.
And another loss by Bastianelli Conlon. And now I think Alan Jarabek has done a great job of getting in the head of Bastianelli Conlon. As I mentioned, I saw him working on his face-off form on the sidelines, so to speak, kind of working on how he wanted to adjust his stick. And all of a sudden, Jarabek has won back-to-back face-offs.
And I can tell you right now, he is very frustrated. As soon as he gets off the field after he lost, he takes off his helmet and he is just angry at himself. And you got to be careful because
Absolutely. And look, he's even over there right now practicing it. Oh,
Ooh,
tossed his stick. He is
down with the
upset.
stick. No, that's difficult.
Yeah, Bastianelli Conlon, who has not faced too much heat so far this season. What
Was that
a
between
play
the legs?
by Patrick Sweeney. I
He just
believe
went
it
between
was
the
between
legs.
the legs underneath Justin Lorenzo.
That's a
And when
cheap
you're
shot.
when you're 6'5",
doing a between the legs
and you're in
shot,
front of the goaltender, I mean, why not just fire it underneath?
why not? He's been feeling it all day today. Another goal for him.
What
And
a nasty, and I say that in a good way, folks, a nasty goal by Patrick Sweeney
That's
to
incredible.
give the St. Ace Hawks a 2-goal advantage yet again.
That's the thing about plays like that is it hypes up your teammates. You know. They
Oh,
will go in
absolutely.
nuts
And now Sweeney is dominating this game.
with ease. I mean, when you're throwing no look between the legs shots at the net and scoring, I mean, and another lost face.
Yeah, another lost face-off
and
for
they're right
Bastianelli
into the
Conlon.
attack. Falls down though, loses it. Oh, and they got it back.
Thank goodness for the
Bastianelli.
Ravens, but again, lost the ball. Thank goodness Jake Kastorf got that one.
And Bastianelli was able to get that one back too. He's the one that passed it up.
Kastorf will send it over to Tracy, who tries to go behind the net. He'll send it over. No, he'll keep it. Looks like he was going to send it over to Matt Brewster. Number 12, Mike Alibrandi will get it now. He'll send it over to St. Laurent. And St. Laurent,
Another beautiful run from him.
another beautiful run, no lane that time. And
Oh, what
Luke
a-
Tracy was able to get free again, but that time he missed as Nick Richard turned that shot away.
Oh, and he lost it.
And possession back to Franklin Pierce. Good pressure put on, I believe, by St. Laurent there. No, that was Tracy.
Well, number 10, Jack Dawson.
29,
should have
Luke
lost that
Tracy.
one. He brought it back to pass it to a teammate, and it just fell out of his stick.
St. Laurent now. Get it over to Mike Alibrandi. Back to St. Laurent. Has little to no lane. I believe
Is that
timeout
That's a timeout.
by Mike Senator. Rick Senator, excuse me. Rick Senator in his 12th campaign, as I mentioned, trying to help Franklin Pierce beat St. A's for that first time since that 2015 campaign where the Ravens went 12-4 and competed in the playoffs in any 10 play. And Senator obviously knows the struggles that the Ravens have had early on, rather past the early point of the season, where last season they started off 4-0 and then fell that 1-8 record. So, you know, this to me is a key game against an opponent that you haven't been able to beat in almost 4 years. And obviously they're coming in hungry and they need a win. They're 0-2,
Exactly.
having lost against two ranked opponents. And yet here's Franklin Pierce. They need this win as well.
No, this is definitely, and it's been a very good game. But one of the things I've been noticing about St. Anselm is they have been finding the big body of Patrick Sweeney in front of the goal very
They have.
consistently.
Yep.
And I mean, the last shot, beautiful between the legs shot, but he was wide open.
Wide open.
He had all the time in the world to decide what to do. He decided to get fancy, do it for the fans.
Yep.
Do it for us up here in the broadcast booth.
Absolutely.
But I mean, if you're Franklin Pierce, you can't let that stand. You can't let someone get that wide
Yeah,
open.
and I mean, somebody as large as he is, it's just striking to me how he was that wide open
Exactly.
initially on that play. But again, all the attention seemed to be on Quinn there.
Definitely.
as Quinn had fired a shot in earlier himself and looked rather potent offensively. But I think Sweeney has now come to dominate this one, as we have seen. And Patrick Sweeney, I mean, that says it all. Four goals so far in this one.
Yeah.
0 assists, 6 shots total.
Well, he doesn't need to assist the ball when he's scoring.
No,
every
he
time.
does not need to assist when he accounts for 4 of your 7 points.
So I think it's important
So
here.
now St. Laurent quickly upfield. He'll send it back to Brewster, who almost,
Ooh,
he did lose it.
great job there.
And possession goes to the St. Anselm Hawks.
Great job there by Christopher Tooley to deflect that with his stick and get the ball back for St. Anselm.
Absolutely. And
And
Brewster initially missed that pass. Unfortunately, couldn't get it back. A collision between...
Luke Tracy was the guy that stopped him.
Oh, and Jake Kastorf came up with it. So a great job by the Ravens there after that hard blow. Now here comes St. Laurent and number 32, Josh Dorr, back into the game. St. Laurent, nothing,
Wow.
trying to make something happen.
Done a good job, though. Forcing him to rotate.
Doing a good job, but St. Anselm has adjusted well, and they haven't
Yeah.
given him any lanes to go up and score. I think they realized how fast he is.
Yeah, they've been doing a very good job rotating so far. Not letting up any easy shots.
Yeah, when number 39 is on the field, I think they're watching out for that speed. Jake Kastorf, nice move. Luke Tracy, behind the
Off the
net,
post,
won't get
yeah.
that one. Turned away by Richard.
And wow, what a play by number 13, Nick Richard there. Because the player closest to the ball, his team gets possession. So on that run, he ran as fast as he could trying to beat out the Franklin Pierce defender and got his team possession of
Yeah,
the
I
ball.
believe that was Tracy trying to get it back.
Excellent job, though. That's a great heads-up play. He could have easily stayed in net, but he realized the situation and managed to get his team another possession.
Easily, yeah. And now Kastorf has come out, and you will see number 6, James Conway, checking in this one, I think, for the first time for Franklin Pierce.
But they turn it over really quickly.
Oh, look at the pressure. The ball is
There's
lost.
No goalie. There's no goalie. Oh. Lorenzo managed to get back, though.
Yeah, Lorenzo managed to get back quickly, but the ball was lost, and if St. A's had hustled, they had a potential open goal opportunity. And now number 8, Griffin Shoemaker. Quick run. Nice defense there by Mike Alibrandi. And there's Bouchoni.
Trying to bully his way in, and ooh, foul.
He'll
call.
get called. Yeah,
Not foul, violation.
he will get called for that one. So nice job there by Alex Kasky, number 23 for Franklin Pierce, holding his ground. Now Mike Alibrandi. And Jake Kastorf is back in this one. Conway briefly took his spot, giving him a little rest. And now Alibrandi. He will get it. Ooh.
Fires a shot.
Yeah,
It's off.
no, I believe that was a pass.
Oh.
I believe that was a pass over to Jake Kastorf. Ball went out of play. Possession remains with Franklin Pierce. Now some substitutions as we see Callan LeMay, number 27, come in for Mike Alibrandi.
This is going to be a quick conference between the officials here.
I think one of the refs said it was a kick by the St. A's Hawks initially, and that's why the ball went out of play. Play still held up.
Well, it looks like no penalties will be called.
No penalties. I believe the ball was just kicked out of bounds, kicked out of play.
Oh, it was also an issue of the shot clock.
And
it
that-
was reset to 80, and it should have been at 67.
And I believe Coach Mike Shimana knew that. As number 9, Stephen L. will toss it back over to Gavin Power. Power back over to L. And now L trying to work around his man. He'll get it over to Tracy. Then Tracy to Kastorf. Tracy tries to set up a screen, but no luck there. Kastorf will get it back to L, who sends it back to Power. Power now gets it to Tracy. Tracy looking to make something happen. Quick spin move. Good poke check there by number 25. Thomas Mapstone. Kastorf now looking for a passing lane. Thought about shooting it.
Well, they're gonna
Nothing
have to
there.
soon. They got 12 seconds left. To do
Yeah,
something
12
happen.
seconds. They have to find something. Here comes Tracy. Ooh, no, I'm sorry, Brewster. Brewster trying to make something happen. 6 seconds now. 5, 4, 3, 2, and possession goes to St. A's as the shot clock ran out
No time
for
left.
Franklin Pierce.
Some frustration from Franklin Pierce there, but white ball.
White
with
ball.
1 second.
So because the shot went off before the shot clock ran out, I believe Franklin Pierce does retain possession.
I don't know if they have any.
I wondered
plays.
that.
I don't know if they have
Oh
any
no,
plays.
they're saying there's 1 second on the
Exactly.
shot clock
So-
as the ball went out of play.
I don't know if Franklin Pierce has any plays to get a shot in 1 second. but
I
if
believe they don't.
If they do, we'll see it now.
Yep,
And nope.
he just let it roll out.
All right then.
Yep, Jake Kastorf wisely just let the ball roll out. Didn't even try to pass that one in.
But yeah, now they got to focus defensively, try to get a stop here. And get
Yeah,
the ball back.
long possession there for Franklin Pierce. Netted them nothing. Still down 2 goals in this one.
Oh, there's
penalty.
A flag.
Yep, there's a penalty. I believe that'll be on Brewster.
And I think, did he break his stick? Oh yeah, his stick is shattered. So
Yeah,
they give him a new stick and send him back out though.
right, until there's a stoppage of play,
Uh,
it'll continue.
Does Franklin Pierce have too many defenders right now? Looks like they have 7 guys back there. Am I wrong?
You are correct.
Maybe an official will note.
Yeah, Franklin Pierce has an extra man down there. There should be a third on this side of the field, and the refs have not caught it.
Well, I'm not
Yeah, the
saying
refs have not caught this one, folks. The
I'm not-
Franklin Pierce Ravens have an extra man
I'm not
on their side of the field.
I'm not going to say anything if you don't.
I don't think Coach Michael Shiamana notices it either.
Unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah, no. I believe you are correct. Unless... Yeah, they have 7. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess that's the only way to contain Patrick Sweeney today is to have an extra defender.
Yeah, Matt Brewster should not have been on that side of the field.
But I guess we're sticking with it.
Very interesting.
I mean, maybe they're running 4 defensemen. But I don't know. I don't know.
So 7-5, 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in this second quarter. And now Conway has come back on for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. And he is set up on the right side of the field. So,
There we go.
yeah. No, they had an extra man, Brandon.
Okay, I thought I saw that correctly. I was like, why is
No,
one
you're
saying
not
anything?
allowed to have that extra body.
Yeah,
That was not caught. And Rick Senator's thanking his lucky stars.
Oh, definitely. It's groundbreaking new defense. He'll bring it down now.
And
They've
now
got
look at this.
5 seconds to bring it across, and he will. And that's a defenseman that brought it across, so they'll call offside.
Yeah, that was definitely offsides right there. They had 2 men once again on this side of the field, and number 36, Kyle Fortier, brought it across without having, I believe it was number 18, Connor Shep Delane, try to get over the line
And he's
as
a defenseman too, so
yeah,
he's not allowed on
yeah,
that side of
as
the field.
Fortier was trying to get over the line. So all kinds of confusion right now for these Franklin Pierce Ravens, who are down 2 goals with 1:23 left
You gotta try
before
to-
half.
I mean, yeah, some confusion there. I mean,
Definite
you know,
confusion.
I feel like Franklin Pierce might be a little bit
Franklin-
rattled right now.
Franklin Pierce is definitely a little rattled, I would say. I mean, that long possession netted them nothing, and then St. A's, some sort of quick penalty, and then quickly the Franklin Pierce Ravens found themselves an extra man advantage in terms of defense.
Well, every game for Franklin Pierce so far has been more or less a blowout, if you will. They won 15-0, 14-7, 23-6.
Yep.
So this is the first time they're at like a halftime of a game and are like panicking, like, oh my, we're down, we need to get back in there.
I don't know if they're necessarily panicking just
Not
yet,
panicking,
but
but-
I know what you mean. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
they're-
that sense of, they have to hang with the St. Anselm Hawks, where in the past, so far in these first 3 games, they've dominated from every standpoint statistically.
Definitely.
Goals,
Defense.
shots,
I mean, this is
Yep, defense,
it's
goals
been
against,
It's been one half.
face-offs.
It's been one half, and St. Anselm has already equaled the
Yeah,
highest goal total.
and
against
the
Franklin Pierce so far.
face-off battle has
Oh.
absolutely stunned the Ravens here today as Bastianel and Conlon cannot figure out Jarabek.
Well, when he comes back out for the second half, I hope he calms down a little bit, because right now he's playing angry. And while that can help some players, it hasn't been helping him so far. He's been playing kind of sloppy.
And if Franklin Pierce can try and get one more possession out of this half and net a goal, it would really spice things up with that 7-5 advantage right now for Franklin Pierce.
Definitely, because I mean, you don't want to go down, but if you can get a goal, get some momentum to go into halftime with, that'd be huge.
Absolutely. But possession will be with St. A's to start this thing off. And there's Bushoni. He'll find Tomaszewski, number 23. Now Tomaszewski.
It looks like they're going to take their time here. They don't
Yeah,
want to leave Franklin Pierce
definitely
enough
trying
time.
to take their time. Could not run out the shot clock. There's a little bit of a difference. About 7-8 seconds. Tomaszewski, he got it to Sweeney now. And there's Xavier Quinn. He'll get it back to Bushoni.
Trying to bully his way in this time.
Yeah, bigger body there. Patrick Sweeney.
Ooh.
Too
overshot
high
it,
that
though.
time. Too
Overshot
high.
it, though. But it'll stay with St. Anselm, so.
It will. Possession stays with St. A's. But Patrick Sweeney, once again, dangerous. Once again in front of the net.
Too open.
Once again, a shot opportunity, but that time, over the top.
Wasn't able to capitalize on that.
Yep,
That time.
over the top. Now, Bushoni, he'll get it back over to Tomaszewski. Xavier Quinn with it now.
He scored from out there earlier.
He did. Good poke check right there.
And now they've got 10 seconds left as Sweeney.
Patrick Sweeney.
What a shot.
Patrick Sweeney,
What a shot.
once again, with his 5th goal of the day, makes it an 8-5 St. Anselm Hawks advantage, and Patrick Sweeney is dominating these Ravens.
And that's worst case scenario for
Lorenzo,
Franklin Pierce.
the defense, they have no answer for Patrick Sweeney.
He's been doing great all night, and that was a difficult shot with the shot clock winding down. He had a better look earlier, missed it, but that one he capitalized. He's
Yep.
been having a great game so far.
Yep.
And, I mean, I feel like he's definitely been the key player so far in this game.
Yeah, Patrick Sweeney with an absolute dime there once again. And it'll make it an 8-5 advantage for these Hawks. And another loss by Bastianelli Conlon. Just shocking. Shocking to see Bastianelli Conlon, after what was a dominant performance in the first 3 games, lose these face-offs. Franklin Pierce tries to heave one down.
Oh, they got it.
No time left
Yeah,
on the
no
clock.
time, no time.
St. Laurent with a nice pass.
Valiant effort.
Received that one across the middle, sent in a shot, but unfortunately too late. No time left on the clock. And now we have entered halftime, as there is just 10 minutes, obviously, in the half. And Brandon, let's quickly highlight what went wrong for the Ravens and what went right for the St. Anselm Hawks.
Well, I think one of the things that went wrong for the Ravens is the face-offs. They've been so consistent with them all year. In this game, I believe they're actually losing the face-off battle by 5 face-offs.
Yeah.
9 for St. A's and only 4 for Franklin.
Yep.
And I think one of the things too is you can see the clear frustration on the face of Lawrence Bastinelli. Because,
Absolutely.
Every time he comes off, he gets more angry at himself. Because
Bastianelli Conlon is definitely not having himself a day, and he is struggling, and you can see it on his face.
Definitely, and then it just comes defensively too. Sure enough, St. Anselm has scored some incredible goals, but they've gotten some easy looks,
Yeah.
some open looks.
I mean, Franklin Pierce has 2 at certain points, but I think St. A's has done a great job defensively of bearing down all of a sudden and putting the pressure on. And I think Luke Tracy has found it hard to find space in front of the net. I think Kastorf has found it difficult to find any good positioning. Matt Brewster, St. Laurent, who we saw really start us off with that first goal and that assist, he had himself a couple of nice little plays, and all of a sudden he's gone quiet as the defense for St. A's has suddenly bared down on these Franklin Pierce Ravens. And as you mentioned, the 10 face-off wins for St. A's compared to Franklin Pierce's 4. If you had told me that would be, obviously we mentioned at the beginning of this game how that would be a storyline today is the face-offs. If you had told me it would be in favor of the St. Anselm Hawks, probably wouldn't have believed you.
If you told me it'd be even, I wouldn't have believed you. So it's pretty crazy that they've done such a good job on the faceoffs.
Yeah.
And not even the faceoffs Franklin Pierce has won. I believe 2 or 3 of those they got the ball right back.
Yep.
And that's been the main part of this game has been possession. And then right at the end of the second quarter, Franklin Pierce had possession for a long time, and they couldn't get a goal. And that was huge because it would demoralize them. I saw 2 or 3 players come off the field shaking their heads, throwing their rackets, angry that they weren't able to get a goal there.
Absolutely. And I mean, the biggest thing was how the momentum really swung at the end of that first quarter when St. A's was able to rip off 3 straight goals, make it a 4-4 affair. And all of a sudden, everything's going in the way of the St. Anselm Hawks. And now, in this second quarter, 4-1 advantage in terms of the St. Anselm Hawks. The goals were just that much more impressive for Patrick Sweeney, including that one between the legs underneath.
No look.
Yeah, I mean, no look between the legs underneath. I mean, as far as nasty goes, that wasn't too bad.
He's definitely saving that one in his highlight reel.
Yeah, so that was not a bad job there by Patrick Sweeney. And so far, he has been the key difference in this game. He has absolutely dominated so far. And I don't know if you would disagree with me on that.
I can't disagree with you on that. That last shot to end the first half is an incredible shot.
Yep.
The shot clock was winding down. He had to fire it from way out. He managed to just bounce it in. So, and it's things like that, like I said before, it demoralizes the defense. They're tired. They've worked their butts off for 70 seconds on the shot clock, and then at the very end, you just get a shot through, and it's just, it stinks if you're one of the defensive players.
Absolutely, and so far in terms of clears, once again, St. A's, they started off doing their thing well. As we mentioned, they're one of the best teams in terms of clears in the NE10 so far this season. First, I believe, if I remember correctly. And now 7 of 9 here today, and Franklin Pierce just 8 of 12. Lorenzo has turned away 6 balls, but has allowed 8 goals, and his save percentage is around 43%. Whereas Richard, who struggled early, has bounced back. He has a 54% save percentage. He has allowed just 5 goals so far in this one, 6 saves as well. Patrick Sweeney, obviously the highlight player in this one, 5 goals, 9 shots, dominating performance, and he has led his St. Anselm Hawks to this first half lead, 8-5, your score right now. And what is Franklin Pierce going to need to do here, especially in this third quarter? I think is really key. Obviously, what are they going to need to do to kind of flip this script that has developed here in terms of losing these face-offs, and all of a sudden the defense is just swarming around Richard and stopping the Ravens from being able to score?
Well, I think 2 things need to come into effect. First of all, defensively, you can't be losing people like they have. All game they've had difficulty where people would come around the side of the net and be wide open. Right there at the end of the first half, Sweeney had a nice shot, a pretty open shot right there that he shot over the net. If you're Franklin Pierce, you can't be giving up looks like that because even though you have a good goalie in Justin Lorenzo, I mean, he's not perfect. And when you get someone with that open, it's going to be very difficult for him to make that save. And then part 2 has to be the possession battle.
Yep.
They've been losing the possession battle all game. And it's not even the few times they've won the faceoffs, they've been losing the ball right after, and St. Anselm's been running down the field and getting in position to score. So I definitely think, if you're Franklin Pierce, you got to control the ball, get good shots, and limit the open shots of
Absolutely. I could not agree more with you there. And I think Franklin Pierce is going to need somebody to step up, because so far in this one, it has been, as I mentioned, all Patrick Sweeney. I won't even say all St. Anselm Hawks. It's been all Patrick Sweeney. And for the Ravens, 5 different players have scored goals in this one. Brewster, Alibrandi, Jake Kastorf, the senior, the leader on this team in terms of points. He will add 2 more to that with a goal and an assist. Luke Tracy, the senior, and then Dominic St. Laurent. And I'd like to see Dominic St. Laurent also try to make some more individual plays. I liked what I saw from him in terms of speed. But then again, obviously, you have to set yourself up right, and I think Luke Tracy, Jake Kastorf, Matt Brewster, they do a great job of that. Those 3 attackers behind the net. And they're going to have to look for, more consistency here in this second half. I think we're going to have to see that from them. And, Jake Kastorf and Luke Tracy being seniors, Brewster also being a senior, those guys are going to have to really get things started for them. And Bastianelli Conlon, he's just a freshman, so it's amazing what he's done so far in terms of winning the face-offs. And to see him struggle here today, he's not used to it. I mean, obviously you would say he has his high school he'll fall back on, and he has his time. But even now, like, look at him, he's down there practicing his face-offs. And, you could see the frustration going through his head right now, hanging his head, shaking his head. I mean, the struggles for him as a freshman, I mean, this can't feel good right now, especially when it's potentially costing his team the lead.
It's definitely going to be tough for him. And he's a freshman, so I feel like this is part of the things. I feel like almost every freshman has a game like this.
Yeah.
Where they struggle. And it's one of those things where...
Oh, I mean, every professional athlete is going to have a game where they struggle at some point. Even the great Tom Brady is never, perfect.
Never perfect. But he's almost perfect, though. But when it comes to Bastianelli, I think the second half's going to be huge. Because if he can come out and win this face-off, if he can come out and...
Get himself in the right mindset.
Exactly. Yep. I think that'd be huge. Because right now, he's playing angry. And it's just... I feel like it's just hurting him. He's trying to, bully his way to the ball. And so far, the other guy's been able to just get it and get out with it. And it's been difficult. And I feel like, if... For him to win a face-off would be big because it gives him that little bit of confidence that he needs. Because he should, if you just were to look at it, he should win every face-off.
Absolutely.
But right now he's not playing his best. So if he can get back to that form, like when he's playing his best, he should win the majority of these face-offs. And hopefully he can because, like I said before, possession's going to be huge. Because when St. Anselm started dominating the possession battle about midway through the first, that's when this game turned directly into their favor.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we should see a good one here develop. The Ravens will need to find an answer for Patrick Sweeney. And, they're going to have to find it quick because he has 5 goals. He's the difference in this game, I would argue. Yeah, and the Ravens are going to need to do something offensively to be able to find themselves once again. Stop with these little penalties and these little minor infractions here that have netted them a couple of missed opportunities. And hopefully the refs will have their eyes more wide open here in this second half, as I don't know what was happening when they had that extra man across the line, and nobody seemed to notice. Well, nobody seemed to care.
No one seemed to care.
Yeah, except for us up here, obviously. We're taking notice of these kinds of things.
Well, I don't miss anything,
Of course, we have the bird's eye view.
Exactly.
And, of course, the fans aren't going to say anything.
Yeah, the fans aren't going to say anything. This is a Franklin Pierce
I was going to say, I'm sure this is a Franklin Pierce crowd, so we're not gonna open our mouths and say that they have an extra man on the opposite side of the field.
Well, I mean, it's difficult, I was surprised because Franklin Pierce just rolled with it. I don't know if they realized, but if they had ran him back, they would have been called.
That happens sometimes, If the refs miss it, you just roll with it.
You just roll with it.
Yeah. Case in point, L.A. Rams.
L.A.
Rams.
Man, I am glad I'm not a Saints fan. That would have been a difficult one.
Oh, please. If you're a New England Patriots fan, you've been on the opposite side of some awful calls at some point, too.
I still have flashbacks of Kiko.
Any good team is on the opposite side of some bad calls at some point.
It happens. It's part of the game.
Oh,
human error.
Yeah, human error is unavoidable. At least to this point. Yeah, we have not solved human error yet in terms of sports refereeing.
I feel like it'd always be part of sports.
But I know, that's the fun part of it. I mean, if they suddenly brought about machines, I don't think it'd be the same.
Like the MLB's, the automated strike
what a
zone and
fight.
Stuff,
what a fight in this half for and Jarrett.
That's good. That's a big confidence boost right there. He won that face-off.
He did.
Oh, just missed
Ball
the
was
shot.
just sent wide by Jake Kastorf. So great job by Franklin Pierce to start hot in this one. Unfortunately, did not get anything as Xavier Quinn will move it quickly down the field, send it over to Jack Wells, number 19. Could be his first time in the game. I haven't seen him so far in this one. Patrick Sweeney now will send it over to Tom Mazewski.
And it looks like they're playing matchup on him. Number 2 has been following him all over the field.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him get those open shots.
Get a bigger body. I'm surprised Luke Newman hasn't been subbed in, although I believe Luke is a defenseman, so technically he can't even come in and face off against Patrick Sweeney. Again, though, you wish in that case that you could switch his positioning and say, hey, let's have a guy similar to your size and build go out and defend you.
I mean, they could. He's a defender, like you said. So he can come out there and play some defense. I'm surprised they haven't done it so far.
He could, yeah.
But, I mean, they might be afraid that he gives up some speed, which might be an issue. I'm not sure. But right now they've got number 2 matched up on him, Robert Colburn. So we'll see if he can slow him down, stop him.
Yeah.
So
Gonna have to just get physical.
no, definitely.
Stick checks, poke checks.
Because so far he's been doing whatever he wants, and you can't let him do that.
And now Conway got it, sent it over to Colburn. Colburn lost it, but he'll have the handle, and he'll get it over to Lorenzo. Lorenzo's going to have to find somebody, and he found Kyle Fortier, who crossed the line earlier.
And this time he decides to pass it instead of doing
Thank
it,
goodness.
so
Yeah.
that's always good.
He'll send that over to James Conway. I think a quick stoppage.
Nope,
No.
just making some substitutions, holding
Just
the
some
ball right
substitutions. Looks like a stoppage. But St. Laurent will get it over to Kastorf. And now St. Laurent gets it over to Mike Alibrandi. Alibrandi looking for a passing lane. Slipped. Almost
now.
fell.
Balance, though.
Luke Tracy all the way down the right side. Tracy can't get in front of the net.
They haven't been running off the picks well.
No, they've not. Dominic St. Laurent held on to that one. Jake Kastorf looking for anything. Wind has picked up a little bit here in Rinch, New Hampshire. And there it is. Dominic St. Laurent, the man who started it off for Franklin Pierce here today, fires in a shot, and he'll make it an 8-6 St. A's advantage, cutting into that lead.
That's good. They needed that. They needed that to start the half.
Absolutely.
And I feel like this face-off might be the big. I think this face-off is the biggest face-off of the game.
Absolutely.
So far.
It seemed like Bastianelli Conlon won that initial first face-off.
Exactly. So.
And now Dominic St. Laurent getting the Ravens back on the board. That is key. 12 minutes and 22 seconds in is the mark that we are at right now in this third quarter. Here's Bastianelli Conlon.
And
He got it.
One. That's big.
That's 2 straight for Bastianelli Conlon.
He'll take it himself all the way.
Not that time.
And that's why he just usually does the face-offs.
Yeah, not that time. That
But-
shot went wide.
I mean, it wasn't a terrible look, and they get the ball back.
But guess
So,
what? Bastianelli Conlon is back on top. That's 2 straight face-off wins for him.
And
The
that's
freshman,
huge.
yeah, the freshman's getting back into it mentally, getting some congrats from the teammates. So perhaps that halftime adjustment helped.
Definitely, and they've been winning the possession battle. They've been playing better.
Absolutely. He's fired up now, and the Ravens, rightfully so, need that. Jake Kastorf, he'll fire in a shot, but deflected. And now, before it goes out of play, Luke Tracy saved it. No? Yes? No. No.
And
They will call the ball was out, potentially while Tracy had possession and slid out of bounds.
Rick Senator is not happy.
Yeah, Rick Senator was questioning that call. So
He let the officials know he wasn't.
that's potentially a killer. Luke Tracy and Jake Kastorf
And
now
they took it back over.
yeah, they will switch possession for the Franklin Pierce Ravens as good pressure was applied there by Tracy and Kastorf, and the ball quickly back to Franklin Pierce.
He had nowhere to go when he threw it out. A Franklin Pierce player was closer.
Yeah, so the Ravens getting aggressive.
And that's a really good way to start the half. You know, I bet their coach drilled in on them. You got to go after every ball like it's the last.
Now
play
here's
of the game.
St. Laurent. Laurent
Another goal?
with another one.
Wow, that's huge. Hey.
Dominic St. Laurent with 2 back-to-back goals. That's 3 so far in this game. So the answer to Patrick Sweeney is Dominic St. Laurent.
Dominic St. Laurent.
And 8-7 is your score. The Ravens starting to fly here at Sodexo.
That's huge.
You're down 1. Bastianelli Conlon's back in the game. And all of a sudden, Dominic St. Laurent using that speed, coming around the corner and able to fire a couple shots in.
Well, one thing you have to be careful of, though, is this is how he started the first quarter as well.
That is true.
And then they adjusted. So we're going to have to see if they can adjust, because if they can't adjust to him, Franklin Pierce is going to be in a very good position.
Very true. Bastianelli Conlon,
And
I think.
another face-off? Oh, no, taken away by
Looks like
St.
Jerebek initially won it, but the ball got lost there. Good pressure now. And St. A's will gain it. So Bastianelli Conlon, good fight in the middle. Jerebek, though, came out and I believe initially won that.
Yeah. They had it for a second, and then sent and
Yep, had it for a second.
And, Patrick Sweeney loses that one,
Oh, number 2.
but he will get it back.
Yeah, number 2 for the Ravens.
Now he's in a difficult position.
Robert
He's trapped.
Colburn couldn't get it.
He'll stay with him, though.
Yeah, Robert Colburn Coburn could not pick that one up after Sweeney lost it.
But he's done a good job so far. Mirror and Sweeney staying in between him and the goal, making sure he hasn't gotten the same open looks he got in the first half.
He has, yeah.
That's been huge.
Now, Xavier Quinn turning on the Jets. He'll send that one over to Tomaszewski, who gets it over to Bushoni. Bushoni fires a shot. Lorenzo turned it away.
Good save.
Ball out of bounds.
But
Possession remains with the Hawks.
And the shot clock reset. So, good save, but now they're going to have to play more good defense for another 80 seconds.
Absolutely. And then Tomaszewski will send it over to Bushoni. Bushoni now working it, trying to find a passing lane. Quinn gets it. Quinn thought about taking a shot, elected not to. Tomaszewski thought about taking a shot. He does. And now Bushoni will receive the pass from Jack Wells. Quinn able to squeak around. Patrick Sweeney lost it again.
Saves it back in, but it's going to go right to Franklin Pierce.
Yeah, Jack Wells saved it, but the pass was off the mark. Went to Franklin Pierce, now number 11. Christopher Brialt pushing it down the field. Excuse me.
As they'll try to substitute their best offensive players back on the field.
Yeah, and now Dominic St. Laurent will get it back over to Mike Alibrandi. Alibrandi will send it in over to number 32, Josh Dorr. Luke Tracy now turning on the Jets. Gets it to Matt Brewster. He'll send it to Jake Kastorf. Looking for something. Trying to get something set up in front of the net. Kastorf with a stutter step. Quickly down the side. Sends it back over to Josh Dorr. Josh Dorr with a lane. Couldn't squeak that one in there too much. Josh Dorr trying to get it. And Richard will cover it up. Richard looking for anybody to pass to now.
Didn't have a great angle there. He
They'll
got
get
by, but...
Yeah. No, very true. There was a lot of traffic around the net, and Richard was able to swallow that one up in a sea of bodies. Ball will go out of bounds, and Franklin Pierce gets possession.
Sloppy. That's been sloppy for St. Anselm so far.
Yeah, sloppy so far here in the third quarter, almost halfway through. And now Luke Tracy getting it back over to Brewster. Brewster looking to run with it. He'll just toss it in to Kastorf behind the net. Kastorf around the side. Ooh, good poke check there. Number 34, Christopher Tully of the St. Ace Hawks.
Did a great job to chase him away from the goal.
Absolutely. Batting the stick of Jake Kastorf. Now Mike Alibrandi looking to make something happen. Lost the ball.
Looks like he'll get it back.
He will not.
Wow, what a play.
Two players on him. Yeah, he will definitely not get that one
And
back.
that's a breakaway. They've got a good opportunity here.
Mateo Olsen is running down the field. They looked like they had a good opportunity there as Jack Wells could have taken a shot. Did not. Patrick Sweeney now.
Decent look. Tried to bounce it in, couldn't make it in.
Tried to bounce it in. I believe Justin Lorenzo was ready for that one.
Yep.
Don't quote me on that because it could have turned out much differently.
They get the ball right back, though. They're back into it very quick. And, he didn't even know he lost it.
Yeah, he lost it, but I believe St. A's will get it back.
Yep.
As Dominic St. Laurent tapped it a little too hard. Whoa!
Hey, that's what happens when you're 6'5".
Hello, Curtis Vatchin, 6'4", 220 pounds, just trucked. I believe Dominic St. Laurent, the smaller size attacker.
You can't teach size.
Get on his shoulder!
St. Laurent, a midfielder, excuse me.
Oh, and there's
a penalty.
flag.
Yep, a penalty. Bushoni fired in a shot. Lorenzo will just tap it out of bounds.
And once again, Rick Senator voicing his disapproval with that call.
Absolutely.
I actually think that looked clean to me. It looked like he got him in a good position. I don't think he blindsided him or hit him from behind, but
the refs disagree.
The refs disagree.
Yep, the refs disagree, and you can't argue with the guys in white and black. I mean, you can, but could end up getting you ejected.
Fair enough. And I mean, they did let us play defense with 7 players earlier.
Let the Ravens.
Let the Franklin Pierce Ravens play with 7 defenders earlier.
Yes. So 6 minutes, 33 seconds remaining. 8-7 is your score. St. A's leads by 1. Franklin Pierce has come out hot in this third quarter, but still find themselves trailing. Dominic St. Laurent has them on the board. St. A's still looking for that first goal of the second half. And Patrick Sweeney almost had it. I believe that was just off the stick
Ooh, and they're resetting the shot clock, too.
of Lorenzo. Just off.
Ruled that one a shot on goal. So a fresh 80-second shot clock here for St. Anselm.
Yeah, fresh
And
is
ooh,
right.
That's too easy. That was a great job, though. By
Matt Ward,
Matt
number 12, had a beautiful pass, beautiful lane. As he's falling down, sent in a shot, and Justin Lorenzo could not defend. 9-7 advantage Hawks.
Yeah, it's been a pretty low-scoring third quarter, but that's a good job.
Yeah, a lot of good defense.
No, a
lot of good defense being
the
played.
defense has been very, very good so far. And
Still 6 minutes and 4 seconds here in the third quarter, though.
definitely easily enough time to go on a little bit of a run to end
Easily.
the third quarter.
Now Bastianelli Conlon versus Jarabek. The premier matchup today. Jarabek wins again.
Another win for him.
So Bastianelli Conlon continuing to
Loses
struggle
it,
after
though.
what was early success here in the third quarter.
And another sloppy pass, and Franklin Pierce is going to get the ball back.
Yeah, Bastianelli Conlon now 6 face-off wins to just 11. So, 11 face-off wins for the St. A's Hawks to just Franklin Pierce's 6. But Bastianelli Conlon has those 6. Had a couple of them there to start off this third quarter. And after that early success, as I mentioned, Jarabek has returned fire
Yeah.
and has won a couple of face-offs.
Well, if they win this game, I think he's going to be the guy. One of the biggest reasons they did. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, coming into this game,
Yeah, we talked about the disparity in terms of face-offs. Just 12% in terms of wins for the St. Anselm Hawks in terms of face-offs, and then 78% for Franklin Pierce win percentage in face-offs. So number 44, Alan Jarabek, the sophomore, doing a great job so far.
number 25 is pestering him, not letting him get any space. That was a good job by Thomas Mapstone there to push him all the way back to almost midfield.
Yeah, Thomas Mapstone, we've talked about him a little bit, mentioned him a couple of times. Jake Kastorf looking for a lane. Can't find anybody. Gonna have to do it himself.
Did he get? Nope, he didn't.
No, he did not get that goal.
Good save.
Yeah, Nick Richard was able to turn that one away.
He's been having a very, very good game so far.
And nothing easy coming for these Franklin Pierce Ravens. Once again, in front of the goal is being defended well by the Hawks. They adjusted, as you said, after the initial attack by Dominique St. Laurent, and he's been the difference maker for the Ravens, what drew them back to within a point. And they're going to need him. They're going to need Kastorf. They're going to need Tracy. They're going to need Brewster to step up here.
Definitely. Well, one thing I've noticed is, unless Patrick Sweeney scores right here.
Oh, what a spin!
Okay, I was just making sure I didn't jinx it. But unless Patrick Sweeney scores right there, he's been pretty much non-factor so far.
So far here in this third quarter, yep, he's been a non-factor, which is a great job by the Ravens. Although we haven't seen too much, I believe, of Patrick Sweeney so far. He has been on the field, but hasn't received the ball too many times. Here's Bouchoni. Bouchoni working against Luke Newman. He'll fire one over the top.
Over the top. And I think credit's got to go in terms of...
And the ball goes well out of play.
I think in terms of containing Patrick Sweeney, credit has to go to number 2, Robert Colburn. That's been his assignment this entire, so far in the second half, has just been mimicking him, staying in front of him, not letting him get a good look. So he's done a good job of that so far.
And now Jack Wells working on number 23, Alex Kasky. Xavier Quinn working against St. Laurent. Xavier Quinn had a lane. Did not elect to shoot. I thought he could have. He got past St. Laurent.
Good save.
Yeah, good job by Justin Lorenzo. He'll get it back over.
Got to be careful.
A lot of pressure there being faced by Kyle Fortier.
No.
Fortier lost it.
Got to get back in front of the net.
The rain is starting to fall.
So, yeah, so we're going to see some of that. If it starts to rain, we're going to see more players falling like that.
Patrick Sweeney with the ball now. Good pressure put on by Franklin Pierce, not letting up an inch, but he gets it.
Well, what are you supposed to do about that? They had him double teamed.
Yeah.
Managed to spin away from the double team and roll it through. What a play.
And some swagger by Patrick Sweeney now after that one, because that was a pretty goal.
I think every one of his goals so far have been something to see. He had that diving one, the between the legs one, and now that one.
Yeah, so 6 goals now by Patrick Sweeney in this one. And it will push the Hawks lead back up to 3. 10-7 now. 3 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Franklin Pierce is down again, and they need to find something.
And the rain is starting to fall a little bit.
They need to
here,
respond offensively. Bastianelli Conlon needs another face-off win. He'll get it. He will get that one. However, the ball is lost. Him and Jarabek collide. The ball was lost, though, and St. A's will have possession.
That's tough. Because
And the struggle continues for these Franklin Pierce Ravens, who can't seem to find.
can't seem to get possession.
Yeah, can't seem to get possession. Bastianelli Conlon won that one, but can't seem to get possession on the faceoffs.
I mean, they've been doing a great job though. They've been pushing every single time the ball is won on a faceoff, and they've been getting there first, and that's been huge.
And I mean, they had a couple early wins, and they were able to get the ball down the field nicely in the beginning of this third quarter. But since then, St. A is doing a nice job adjusting once again. And here they are with a 3-goal lead. And
good hit there.
yeah, good hit. Possession stays with St. A's. Oh no! Possession changes.
Possession changes.
Absolutely.
Franklin Pierce is going to get it back. They need to get something going.
Yeah,
here
they need to
because
make something out of this before the end of the third quarter here with just 2 minutes remaining.
most likely this is going to be their last good chance to get a score.
Ooh, dangerous looking pass as the big body of Patrick Sweeney
Just got
looked to intercept it over Colburn. Nonetheless, Alabrandy set it up. Now Kastorf over in the left corner. Gets it back to Alabrandy. There's Josh Dorr. He'll just send it right back over to Alabrandy. Looking for something, anything. Josh Dorr.
Thought about shooting that one.
That would have been quite the shot if he did.
Good pass, but
Yeah, good passing down there. Jake Kastorf holds on to it. Stutter step. Trying to get around.
nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. Josh Dorr back over to Alabrandy. Alabrandy now.
Decent look, but good save.
Yeah, good save. I questioned the look. There were 3 guys around with Richard.
Yeah.
So kind of just had to let it rip.
Well, I mean, they've been doing a great job. I've been noticing number 45 on St. Anselm, Joseph Hardigan. He's been doing a very good job mimicking.
And now Franklin Pierce probably wants to get out of this quarter without having any more points let up.
Definitely.
Here's Xavier Quinn turning on the Jets, making James Conway, look silly a little bit. Just that speed, able to take it all the way down the field. And Conway let him get the edge. So now Quinn holding it. There's 25 seconds left in this quarter. Quinn trying to make something happen. He'll get around Conway again, and a fired-in shot by Bouchoni. He'll do the shimmy and shake after that one. Bouchoni with a nice little shot. That puts up the Hawks by 4, 11-7 now. St. A's will head into this fourth quarter with presumably a 4-goal lead.
And that was a great pass to set him up there.
It was, and
Yeah,
again,
good look.
James Conway could not defend, could not stop the shifty Xavier Quinn from running past him, and he was able to find the lane, get it to Bouchoni. Bouchoni fired it in, and then a little dance afterwards.
Definitely. They've been celebrating after every goal so far. They've been hyping themselves up. They've been hyping their teammates up. So they're definitely really
Face-off win by Bastianelli Conlon, but
but right
lost.
And that's the story right there.
yeah, that's the story. They keep losing him. They'll win a face-off, but they lose the second chance pass.
5 seconds here. They're going to have to do something quick if they're going to try anything.
5 seconds. St. A's just gonna
Couldn't
lose
control it.
lose the pass. And then number 25, Thomas Mapstone, decided to fire a shot that wouldn't count.
It was a practice shot.
Practice shot. Went wide just for the notability of it, I suppose. So 11-7 your score. 1 quarter of play remains. Franklin Pierce has struggled to once again put anything on the board after initially taking all the momentum coming out of the half. They had 2 quick goals by Dominic St. Laurent, who got them started. He got them started at the beginning of this one with a goal and an assist. And since the 2 goals in the beginning of this third quarter, it has been all St. A's with another 3 straight. And they will take it 3. They will take that period 3-2 in terms of scoring. And Franklin Pierce is going to need something quick to happen coming out of the gate in this one.
They got to get possession. I think that's just a straight up issue with it. I mean, I've been seeing it all game.
Yep, they just lose possession off of the face-off.
And when they won and controlled the first 2 face-offs, they got 2 quick goals from Dominic, but then they couldn't control it. And it's not even the fault of Lawrence Bastinelli. He's done a good job winning the majority. He wins some of the face-offs, and they just lose it right after.
Yep.
Either an errant pass, or they play good defense and get the ball back. I feel like if you're Franklin Pierce, you got to get possession because you're down 4 goals here. If you let St. Anselm control possession, it's over.
Yeah, and now shots favor the St. A's Hawks by 9, 32-23 in favor of those Hawks, as I mentioned. And 14 turnovers for the same Hawks. As for Franklin Pierce, they have 10 turnovers. The rain has absolutely started to fall.
Yeah, and that's going to make it more difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make it not easy. We'll just say that. And now both teams have switched sides. Justin Lorenzo facing perhaps his toughest task this season. He is going to have to rise to the occasion, as is the rest of this Franklin Pierce team, including that offensive trio of the attackers Luke Tracy, Jake Kastorf, and Matt Brewster. They're going to have to set some screens up and try to get some open looks in front of the net. Dominic St. Laurent can't do it all himself, because in comparison, Patrick Sweeney,
and he went offsides. He false started there.
Yep.
Went for it too early.
So possession goes directly to St. A's, who lost it and picked up by Luke Newman. Pass back there to Dominic St. Laurent. Dominic St. Laurent using that speed that we've seen all game. He will blow right by most of the...
He'll get it back, though.
Wow, Jake Kastorf fired in a shot rejected by Nick Richard.
And he didn't get it with the stick either. That hit him straight in the chest.
Yeah, hit him straight in the chest, went right up, and then behind Matt Brewster was able to corral it. So possession stays with your Franklin Pierce Ravens. And now, number 12, Mike Alibrandi will send it over to Brewster. Brewster wide to the right. And they need to find a better shot selection here. There's Luke Tracy. He'll get it back over to Kastorf. Kastorf looking for any sort of lane. There is nothing. And now Kastorf back to Tracy. Tracy. Offense trying to set itself up.
Down goes Dominique.
Yeah, St. Laurent went down. Does not help your cause.
Might have actually been a good thing.
Bumbled there by Jake Kastorf. Kastorf swarmed by 2 defenders. No open lanes in front of the net. 0. And Franklin Pierce is going to need to do something fancy here to try and get a look.
And
easy stop.
Save there, yeah.
Easy stop by Nick Richard as number 32, Josh Dorff, fired in a shot from deep.
And just like that, they're back on the attack very quickly.
Back on the attack, Patrick Sweeney down behind net, waiting for his chance. Big man has 6 points in this one.
Good save.
Ooh. Justin Lorenzo.
Excellent save there.
Turned that away, I believe, with the end of his stick. Not even the net side of his stick. The opposite end of his stick.
And that's a huge save because, I mean, you go down 5 goals right now. I mean, that's not good. I mean, it's already not good you're down 4 goals, but at least now you can get right back on the attack.
Right. 12:56 remaining in this one. Franklin Pierce needs something quick, you would think, to try and break this St. A's Hawks defense.
And they're going to reset the shot clock to 80 seconds there.
Yes, resetting the shot clock. Mike Alibrandi now will send it over to Josh Dorr. And Josh Dorr will look, run, and pass over to Luke Tracy. Tracy sends it over to Kastorf. Still no lane. Mike Alibrandi thought he had something. Fires a shot wide. Did not line himself up right.
Yeah, it's difficult. That's a tough shot, spinning shot like that. But I mean,
well, the spin, not only that, but the spinning shot was way off the mark because he didn't even set himself correctly. Didn't look at really where the net was. I don't think.
I think part of it goes to show how good the defense has been, though.
Absolutely,
that's
swarming
like the best
around.
shot you can come up with.
Yep, St. A's Hawks really are not letting anything up for these Ravens right now. And there's Brewster. Where is the help in front of the net? Brewster tried to squeeze in a pass. That'll be lost, but picked up.
If he had been able to control that.
Kastorf He'll get it over to Josh Dorr. Josh Dorr missed. Ball sent out.
So shot clock's at 22 seconds here, so they're going to have to find a shot pretty quick here.
They will. Stephen L. is out there, number 9. There was a shot fired in by Jake Kastorf, but once again, off the mark. And the Ravens need to break through here.
Yeah, they're taking a lot of shots right now, but they're not great quality looks.
Yeah, they are not great quality looks, and Franklin Pierce struggling to get anything in terms of an open look in front of the net. You've seen Patrick Sweeney do it a lot. We saw Luke Tracy do it early.
He's going to have to just fire one in, and almost managed to sneak that one through.
Almost, but not enough. Possession goes to St. A's.
And that was a lot of time wasted, and they weren't able to get any shots on goal.
It was 11 minutes and 25 seconds now. 11-7 is the score. St. A's once again on top here, has been the case for 3 straight years for the Ravens. They need to break this streak. They will need an offensive flurry in these last 11 minutes to do so.
Yeah. Well, right now you can see St. Anselm. They're going to take their time a little bit. They don't got to go for a quick goal.
Right, yeah.
And so far, when the
I mean, offensively, they're really not doing anything that's, is outperforming the Ravens per se. I think Patrick Sweeney has been obviously the difference maker. But there it is, Bouchoni putting it in for the St. A's Hawks. That's a 5-goal advantage now. That's number 33, Anthony Bouchoni,
that was a good look
gets
there.
another goal.
They've been getting good quality looks right now. I mean, he caught that in stride with his strong side, with his good side, and he managed to fire it in.
Absolutely.
And I feel like part of the thing too is I mean, St. Anselm's been taking some tough shots.
I believe that is his second goal of the day, is Bouchoni, and now lead up to 12-7 for the Hawks. So the struggles for the Ravens against this St. A's team continues.
Yeah, and it's starting to reach that point of the game where if Franklin Pierce loses the ball at all, it might be over, because they got to get the ball, because you can't let another 80 seconds take off. And St. Anselm ball. That's not
St.
good.
Anselm ball. Bastianelli Conlon could not win that face-off cleanly, and thus St. A's retains possession.
And that's not good for Franklin Pierce, because if they don't get this ball back quick, they're going to have 9-something minutes left, and you're down 5 goals. That's very, very tough.
Oh, yeah, and I think obviously the storyline is definitely how Bastianelli Conlon's struggles have affected the Ravens here today.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, he's been offsides a few times. He's lost some straight up. And even the ones he's won, they've lost the ball pretty quick after. So I feel like that's definitely one of the biggest aspects I've seen as to why they're struggling so badly.
Yeah, welcome to college, freshman. Here you are.
Yeah,
You had 3 good games, and now all of a sudden facing adversity. I'm sure he'll rise to the challenge.
Yeah, this is a good
But
game.
Today, just an unfortunate set of circumstances for him and his team.
Well, one thing my coach always said was you learn more from your losses than you do your wins.
Absolutely.
So he's learning some stuff about himself. He's learning about perseverance.
Absolutely, that mental toughness.
Exactly.
Yep. I think you saw it there. He came out of the third quarter and really played well.
Timeout, Franklin Pierce.
Definitely.
Timeout for Rick Senator's squad. And you're down 5. You're going to have to come up with something now. Shot selection, 34-31 in favor of the St. A's Hawks. So Franklin Pierce able to pull back after being down 9 in the shot selection. But, 11 saves for
It's tough.
the Ravens so far.
I mean,
And Lorenzo.
Well, right now they're looking for a quick shot. They need to score a quick goal, but they're not finding anything.
Yeah, they're
St.
not
Anselm has
finding
done
anything.
Such a good job. They've done such a good job defensively so far.
They've tried to set themselves up, but they just can't seem to find anything in the way of opportunity in front of the net, whether it be St. Laurent, Jake Kastorf. I think that's the big thing. I think Jake Kastorf, Luke Tracy, Matt Brewster, they haven't really been able to find anything around the corner of the net. They haven't really been able to outrun their defenders.
Exactly. And
They're getting double teamed straight out of the gate. They're providing good support for Nick Richard, which is what you want to see.
No, definitely, and I feel like part of the thing is too. Every goal Frank Pierce has scored so far, I personally think has been because of their speed. They've been able to outrun them. They've been able to get to the spots. But St. Anselm has done a really good job, despite the fact they're slower. They've done a really good job staying in front and not giving them those looks. And even when I watch Dominic get by someone, they always have some guy rotating right in there to make sure he doesn't have a good look at the net. So it's going to be very difficult, and I feel like passing is what's going to have to do.
And I think another deciding factor here, maybe he's not showing up so much on the stat sheet, but I think Xavier Quinn, number 20, for the St. A's Hawks, has been outstanding in the way he has been able to move around the field today. I think he's outrun his opponents. You saw him make James Conway look silly at one point in this one, and it ended up resulting in, I believe, what was a Anthony Bouchoni goal.
Definitely. I mean, when you got a guy out there hustling, it tires out the other team. It puts him in a bad position, puts him out of position, which is what led to that easy goal. And
absolutely.
Another shot.
Shot sent in by, I believe, Luke
20,
Tracy.
Yeah, number 29.
Yeah, Luke Tracy.
That's
Senior Luke Tracy.
And at this point, that was not a great look. They're just trying to get shots on net right now.
Luke Tracy, obviously a personal friend of many, on his way to a great career as a photographer, I'm sure. Out there for his team today as a senior. Has himself a point in this one. 2 points, I believe, an assist and a goal.
That's a good look.
And there it is.
That's huge. They needed that.
James Dorr.
But now, it's a good goal.
Josh Dorr putting that one in.
But I think the attention should shift right now to the face-off circle, because this.
It has to.
This is big.
Absolutely has to. Bastianelli Conlon is struggling right now.
Exactly.
And if they can't win most of these face-offs in 9 minutes and 19 seconds, you have nothing offensively that you're able to put out.
Exactly. So I feel like this is another huge face-off for him, and I really, it's going to be difficult to see what happens, because St. Anselm's done such a good job, and even if he wins it, they've got to make sure to control it, because they've been winning them and losing the ball.
Yep. Bastianelli Conlon won, and he keeps possession.
Good job.
Huge for the Ravens. He will take it in
Let's
himself
go.
and score. Bastianelli Conlon.
What a play.
Huge. The freshman has come up with a big goal for these Franklin Pierce Ravens off the face-off. He won it, took it down himself, and then right past Nick Richard.
I think he's got his confidence back.
So as quickly as they were down, they are still down, obviously, but it is 12-9
huge.
all of a sudden.
And he scored that goal in what, 5 seconds?
Yeah. So 3 points is the difference with 9 minutes and 11 seconds in this one.
You can't do it any better than that.
Shot selection 34-34, tied now between both teams.
That's crazy. No one picked him up either.
Wow, Bastianelli Conlon. Huge moment there if that shakes out. If things shake out for Franklin Pierce.
We'll see if it brings back his confidence here as he...
That's a win. That's a win.
That's a win.
That is a win. He will get it over to James Conway, who sends it to Kastorf.
32, Josh Dorr. Assist number 13.
That's huge. That's huge. That's exactly what they needed to do.
Now Kastorf looking for a lane. He'll get it over to Dorr. Dorr will send it over to Stephen L.
Ravens' 9th goal, his second of the season, scored by number 25.
L has Luke Tracy down the side. He will find him.
Unassisted. Time of the goal.
Luke Tracy now screen shut up by Jake Kastorf. He'll pass it over to Kastorf behind the net. Kastorf looking for something, anything. Oh, he'll send it deep to Stephen L. He has to quickly run and get it, but I think possession is going to go to St. A's.
That's a tough turnover right there.
Tough turnover.
We're going to have to see how the defense holds up here.
And that's something you don't want to see, obviously, as the Ravens are down 3 in this one, and they need every point they can get, every chance they can get. And for them to lose that is not what you want to see. Xavier Quinn leads the St. Anselm Hawks back on the attack. Nice little move, shimmy shake.
You're right. His energy's been pretty good right now, so he's doing a good job keeping the defenders on their toes.
Oh, yeah. Xavier Quinn has done a great job all day, I think. Definitely, besides Patrick Sweeney, possibly the next best difference maker for these St. Anselm Hawks in terms of the speed he's provided. And there again, nice little matchup between him and Stephen L. L seemed to hang with him a little bit better than James Conway did earlier.
And that's
number 23, Tomaszewski.
I thought he had a good chance there, but he decided to pull it out.
Yeah, it did look like he had a decent chance. But Stephen L., there it is.
That's a good chance, too.
So Tomaszewski ends up firing anyway, and he'll get it.
Man, that's a tough goal right there if you're Franklin Pierce.
Lead back up to 4. 13-9 now. 7 minutes and 25 seconds. So Bastianelli Conlon's effort on that single goal was there. It put the Ravens back within 3, but all of a sudden down 4 again after Tomaszewski fired one in, and Bastianelli Conlon looks to win a face-off for his third straight time.
Let's see if he
Can he do it? Will he do it?
Violation of penalty on Franklin Pierce.
Yeah, I believe it was on Bastianelli Conlon.
That's difficult.
Yeah, that just compounds what has been a struggle for the freshman here today.
He had that great play, but I mean, it's just that's not the way you want to go out. And it's difficult too now because you've got 5 defenders now,
Right?
trying to guard 5 St. Anselm players,
And he will sit in the penalty box.
and I guarantee you, St. Anselm's going to use as much shot clock as they can right now. Keep wasting time.
Absolutely. 7 minutes and 20 seconds remain in this one. It's a 4-point advantage for these St. A Hawks, who are looking for their 4th straight win over these Franklin Pierce Ravens.
Quick shot there, but they'll get the ball right back.
As I've already mentioned a couple of times, they are winners of these contests 3 years in a row. Franklin Pierce hasn't won since that 12-4 campaign in 2015. Obviously a hot start this season, 3-0, I should say, is their record. Haven't really faced much in the way of adversity, and yet here today the Ravens struggling against the Hawks.
Definitely, this is not how I actually imagined the game would have gone. Because I mean, the way St. Anselm's been winning the game has been by winning the faceoffs, by winning and making shots like that,
There's Anthony Buscioni with his third of the day.
So I think,
Lead back up to 5.
yeah, and that's the possession battle right there. They've been winning it, and coming into the game, I thought that's what would win Franklin Pierce the game, but it's been the polar opposite, as St. Anselm has done what Pierce has done so well so far.
But I know your preliminary concerns, before this game were that, St. A's 0-2 record really wasn't indicative of the type of team they are, especially having lost to 2 ranked opponents, Adelphi number 1 obviously in the NE10, and then LIU Post, who is a very good team. So yeah, so I think possibly a correct statement in what we are witnessing here today. Franklin Pierce Ravens still not ready to take on these St. Anselm Hawks and could drop it for a 4th straight year.
And another face-off win for St. Anselm, and I mean...
Yeah, Jarrett Beck won it again. And Bastianelli Conlon had no answer.
And they got to rotate him quickly.
They do. Patrick Sweeney
has a chance
working
here.
on Colburn again.
Oh, wow.
Score.
Is that 7?
That is 7.
Number 7.
That
That's
is
crazy.
7
He's been having himself a
for
game.
Patrick Sweeney. He's got himself a full touchdown today, folks.
Full touchdown, yeah.
7 points. 7 points. So Patrick Sweeney with 7 goals in this one. And yeah, he's been a marvel today. 15-9 now. 6-point advantage for the Hawks, and they are pulling away in this one. 6 minutes and 23 seconds remaining. Ravens still not ready to take on the St. A's Hawks, and I'll admit as a broadcaster, having done hockey and having done basketball and all these other sports, seeing them
Just a
lose
little
consistently to the St. A's Hawks has become a fashion for these Franklin Pierce Ravens.
I mean, I want to call it a rivalry, but so far it's just been pure domination by one
Yeah,
side.
yeah. Especially that women's team. I mean, that women's ice hockey team was able to make it all the way to the finals this year against the same St. A's Hawks.
And the men's basketball team for St. Anselm made it to the Elite 8. And this was actually the first year the men's and women's won the NE10.
Yeah, St. A's has a very good and established program, and they are showing today why they are still a superior team to Franklin Pierce. Unfortunately for the Ravens, they just haven't been able to net anything offensively in this one so far, as the Hawks have done a nice job barring down and helping Nick Richard, who struggled in those first 2 games.
I mean, this is definitely a confidence booster for him. He's had himself a very, very good game.
Absolutely,
so far.
and it comes at no better time than a must-win game, I should say.
Game,
yeah, must-win game against a conference opponent like the Franklin Pierce Ravens.
Well, one of the things about Franklin Pierce, too, is they're a pretty young team this year. And I
They
feel
are
like
decently young. I would agree with that.
This is one of those teams where this is one of those games where I feel like you got to learn from this and move on.
I mean, St. Laurent's a graduate. Brewster, Kastorf, Tracy, they're all seniors. Those are your attackers and midfielders. But after that, again, I agree. Freshman, Bastianelli Conlon. Gavin Powers, a sophomore. He has 3 points on the team so far. Josh Dorr is a sophomore. So Mike Alibrandi is a sophomore. those are a couple guys who provide a lot of valuable on-field minutes.
Well, another player you didn't mention was Robert Colburn, number 2. He's a freshman this year.
Absolutely.
He's been tasked with guarding
yeah,
Patrick
he's been tasked with guarding a senior.
So,
yeah,
he's going to
Patrick
learn
Sweeney.
a lot playing against arguably one of the best players at scoring in this conference. So,
Absolutely. Patrick Sweeney, a very accomplished senior.
and he's been having himself one of those games, you don't see often. So he's been playing very, very well.
Yeah, he's just been lighting up the scoreboard today. A shot sent high there by number 8, Griffin Shoemaker. Unfortunately, Griffin Shoemaker hasn't been a highlight player. Would have loved that. Just, if not
That's
for
a name.
anything but the name.
Exactly. Just say it over and over again.
Yeah, Griffin Shoemaker.
Exactly.
Out on the field right now.
We'll see if he gets one for you.
Patrick Sweeney. No, that's not Sweeney. Excuse me. That's number 9.
And
Number 9, Ryan Richards.
shot clock violation.
Yeah, shot clock violation. Possession goes to Pierce. And desperately, they do need a point if they have any hope of a comeback in this one.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. It is lacrosse.
Well, I mean, they scored a goal in like 5 seconds. So
Exactly.
if they just do that 6
Bastianelli
times.
Conlon went right down the field and scored himself a goal. So anything can happen, but time ticking away now with just 4 minutes for Franklin Pierce and St. A's in this contest.
Coming
Ooh,
in
it looked
now.
like Josh Dorr got a stick to the back and winced in pain momentarily. Jake Kastorf gets it in to
Through it.
Brewster. Brewster
And what
can't.
a save.
Wow.
Those are the kind of things that
Quality save
That's a great
there
save,
by Nick
one-on-one.
Richard, who turned that one away. I mean, that shot by Brewster was right out in front.
Exactly. He's been
Great
having a tough
job.
game. 11 saves.
Richard, who has struggled mightily this season coming into today, is having himself a game, although primarily I would like to thank the St. A's Hawks defense for helping him out, because I think
Done a
they've
great
done a
job.
nice job on those double teams, swarming around the net to help their teammate.
And a few of the shots he saved were, they were difficult shots from bad angles.
Yep.
That he just knew where they
Yep.
were going to be. There was the only one spot the guy could have shot it.
Absolutely.
So, still, though, all credit to him. That was a beautiful save right there.
Yep.
With a one-on-one. And as we go to the end of this timeout, if you're Franklin Pierce, I don't think this game is winnable. I'll be honest. But this is where
It's fair.
This is where you let some of those guys in that maybe don't play as much, and this is your chance to impress the coaches too. You want to play as hard as you can right now in this last 3 minutes because
Absolutely, and like we talked about earlier, that mental toughness. Players like Bastianelli Conlon, who need to stay out there on these face-offs, put every ounce of his best effort forward. And then Colburn, as he's defending Patrick Sweeney, as you mentioned, the freshman. So this slightly young team, you want to see them come out here. Didn't see any of Colin Doherty today, surprisingly. So that was interesting. Obviously he's had himself a little bit of a good start to the season. 3 points. The junior doing a nice job, and he's had some action so far. A little disappointed we didn't get to see him on the field today. But, the Ravens just have to continue to show the fight. It's unfortunate that they could drop this contest and most likely will drop this contest to the St. A's Hawks for the 4th straight year.
yeah, that's difficult. And I feel like with each year, as a
And
team,
and they started off well. That's the
Yeah,
that's the downing part if you're a Raven fan,
they-
because they started off with that 4-1 lead
Exactly.
after St. A's scored that first goal of the game, and then close one heading into the half. Ravens, it's 4-4 in terms of the quarter points, second quarter points. So
Well, I feel like one of the things about St. Anselm is they've done a very good job adjusting.
Yeah.
Each of the start of the start of the game and the start of the first half, it was all Franklin Pierce, and then St. Anselm adjusted, and they've been able to come back and outscore them, and they've been doing a very, very good job so far. And
Yep.
this is one of those wins where as a team, you got to use this because you had those 2 tough losses to ranked opponents, but this is going to give you some confidence in.
Heading forward, absolutely.
Definitely, it's always good to get that first win out of the way.
And for Nick Richard, that's something he had to get off his back to start the season.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Definitely. He was struggling, but now, this is a huge game. He's had 12 saves. He's done a very, very good job in there.
Yep. And Richard, obviously, he's a senior, so he knows what it takes. But
And make that save number 13, I believe, as he saves that one.
yep,
So, he's been doing such a very, very good job in goal so far.
I believe it would be save number 12, actually.
13? I could be wrong.
Well, they just haven't updated the stat sheet, so it is 13. 13 for Nick Richard, and 11 for Justin Lorenzo. And now Xavier Quinn, who has been an absolute speedster on the field today, once again, shimmy shake around his defender. He will keep the ball, though. He'll get it over to Bushoni. No, I think he kept it, actually. Xavier Quinn tries a spin move. Still too far back to take a realistic shot. Finally gets it to Bushoni.
And they're going to reset it here. And coach told him to take it out and just reset it.
Yeah, Anthony Bushoni. He'll get it over to Tomaszewski. Backed over to Quinn.
Yeah, and with 15 seconds left, they're going to have to find a good look here very fast. But, I mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter if you score.
Right, I mean, a minute 35, you're just padding the stats at this point.
But he'll fire one in anyway.
Xavier Quinn did fire it. That went out of bounds.
And we'll see. Maybe Franklin Pierce can end on a positive here, get a goal. That way you can at least walk out on a good note.
Absolutely. And, hard-fought game. Very close at one point.
Definitely. Very physical game.
Definitely. All the momentum swung, though.
Yeah, the momentum swung
at the end of that first quarter when St. A's was able to tie it up, make it a 4-4 game, and then just from then on.
And then that penalty on Lawrence.
Lawrence
Bastigliani. I mean, he was off to a hot start, but he picked up that penalty. They scored a quick goal, and then it was just over.
Yep, Bastianelli Conlon struggling all game.
But this is one of those games you learn from, definitely. For him, he's got to...
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, losing is not fun. He's going to be in a bad mood. But, I hope the coaches, they get to him, they show him the tape, and he can improve himself because, he shouldn't... He's not going to want to lose like this again.
Just an astonishing mark of, 9 face-off wins for the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Yet the Hawks had 17. 17 in this one. And that's a stat I definitely would not have believed at the beginning of the day.
No way. I mean, if you told me it was the opposite in favor of Franklin Pierce, I might have believed you. But in favor of St. Anselm, that's a surprise. And I mean, I you got to give it to them. They played so hard. They focus. I feel like
that's sports. Anything can happen. And Bastianelli Conlon is going to have to learn from it as a freshman, as you said. 20 seconds remain in this one.
So it looks like they just ran out the clock. I'm assuming.
We'll give you a quick wrap up as soon as it's over. We hope all students off campus are enjoying their spring break. As your Franklin Pierce Ravens will officially lose once again to the St. Anselm Hawks, a score of 15-9 today. St. Anselm will take the contest for a 4th straight year. Unfortunate for Franklin Pierce fans, but something to learn, and hopefully it won't be a repeat of last year where the Franklin Pierce Ravens started off undefeated
and
then went down
well,
hard.
They 4-0 and now they're 3-1. So maybe this loss
Potentially, but they've had years where they've started off 3-0 and then they fall down hard. So it's going to have to be a switch up, and they're going to have to make sure that they do a great job of responding to this adversity which they face today. And we're going to give you our quick recap. Brandon, obviously the biggest thing today was
possession and the face-offs.
It was Lawrence Bastianelli Conlon. I think the problems started at midfield today. Franklin Pierce has been dominant so far this season in face-offs won. They had that 78% win percentage in terms of face-offs. So, St. A's comes into this one with 12%. That's just something you expected to win, go in favor of Franklin Pierce, and that just didn't happen. And Bastianelli Conlon, the freshman, struggled here today, having won just 9 face-offs to St. A's 17. And that was the difference. Obviously, at the beginning of this one, we were up 4-1, were the Franklin Pierce Ravens, and then it was 4-4. And then from then on out, it was basically all St. A's. I mean, Patrick Sweeney led the way, and it was 11-5 in terms of goals scored in favor of the St. A's Hawks after that first quarter. And it just went all downhill, primarily, I think, in terms of the face-offs. And then Patrick Sweeney just dominated this game. Exactly. I think Xavier Quinn was also another difference maker for the St. A's Hawks. I was just talking about him. I think his speed really helped him get by guys like James Conway and Stephen L. I think he did a great job on the field today. And then you had Anthony Bushoni chime in with a few goals himself. You had Tomaszewski, who was also able to chime in. So, a couple of guys who were able to really put on the attack for the St. A's Hawks, and they did a great job. All credit to Jarabek. I mean, Jarabek did a great job in the middle of the field, challenging Bastianelli Conlon, and I think that was the huge difference.
No, that was a huge difference maker right there. He got him off his game early, and you could see it.
Yep.
He would come over to the sideline, off comes the helmet. He'd be angrily doing the face-offs. At one point, he
Throwing
threw
his stick. Yep.
grabbed another one.
Throwing his stick.
So obviously, as a freshman player, he let his emotions get to him, and this is something in the future he has to avoid because he went offsides a few times.
Yeah.
He committed that penalty
Yeah.
at the end there. So he was playing angry.
Yeah,
he was
simple
playing-
little penalties. I mean, you go back to the
Definitely.
D Ford in the AFC Championship game, his hand over the line. I mean, that's basically all it is.
Exactly.
It comes down to that, but it's
Exactly.
simple little mental errors, and I think you saw the freshman make those today.
Yeah, definitely.
And then for Justin Lorenzo, I think he really faced his highest shot count and perhaps his most
Definitely.
aggressive shot count so far this season. And the adversity got to him. It got to this entire Franklin Pierce Ravens squad, and they're going to have to bounce back and respond because, now you've 4 straight years, as I've mentioned, how they've lost to St. A's. St. A's, once again doing a great job this time and adjusting, as you said, defensively, and then offensively, it was just basically all Patrick Sweeney. I mean,
Well-
7 points in this one, accounting for half of what St. A's had.
Well, one of the things about Patrick Sweeney too is almost all of his goals were unassisted. He created them on his own.
All of them
just
were
really-
unassisted.
All of them were unassisted.
Yep, all 7.
And I mean, even at the end though, he got a little bit flashy with that between the legs no look that we flipped out about. So definitely he was on his game tonight, and that was huge for St. Anselm.
Yeah, and I mean, even at one point, it looked like Franklin Pierce still had a chance, and Bastianelli Conlon won that huge face-off in the middle of the field, took it right down, scored 12-9. All of a sudden,
huge.
Franklin Pierce has a chance to come back into this one. But then from then on, there are out. St. A's was just able to completely dominate again, and then 3 straight points made it 15-9, and
Yeah.
Franklin Pierce would never score again.
And just like that, I mean, that was a difference maker right there. And I
Yep.
feel like St. Anselm did a great job with the runs they got.
Yep.
They did a very good job there, and I think credit has to go to Nick Richards, the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He had a great game.
He did.
The defense had a great game. I
But-
feel like they won this game almost defensively.
I mean, again, though, having watched it and having seen all the action from the field, I really do feel as though Nick Richard did have himself a good game, but I think the help from the
Oh, yeah.
defense
No, that
of
was
St.
huge as
A's
well.
was absolutely huge because when Kastorf came around the edge, or when Brewster came around the edge, or Luke Tracy tried to come around the edge, they really had no open looks in front of the net. They really couldn't find anybody because a lot of the guys were double teamed. They had that help with Richard. And, all credit to Richard for doing a great job here today with those 13 saves, but I just think I think Richard was able to have a little bit of great
No,
help from that
definitely.
defense.
No, I feel like the defense was a huge too. And I mean, as a goal, when you make a few easy saves, it definitely helps your confidence a little bit.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things too was, I mean, like you said, his defense, the defense he had around him was incredible tonight.
Yep.
And I mean, you saw Dominic. He could in the first
St.
at
Laurent,
sta-
yep.
Dominic St. Laurent at the start of the game, he was coming from the top. He got some good looks. Even did so to start the second half, but they did such a great job rotating on him after he scored that. He was only able to make that limited impact,
Yep.
and no one else was able to get open at all.
Absolutely. So again, final today, 15-9. The St. A's Hawks will take this one over the Franklin Pierce Ravens. Your Ravens drop to 3-1 on the season, and then 1-1 here at Sodexo Field. They'll be back in action soon enough. Their next game comes against St. Michael's March 27th. We'll see them here, and then Bentley that same week, March 30th. Have a great one, folks. Thank you. From Sodexo Field, this is Andrew Honig and Brandon Bojarski signing off.